Veterans.
Schrader won on a short track up in Maine last night.
You mean he raced last night? That's a shock.
Yeah.
Kevin LePage back in 43rd. Cars did not qualify. McCarthy, Cope, Anderson, and Hermie Sadler. Carl Long, Scott Riggs, Ted Christopher, and Kevin LePage go to the rear of the field. Long for a backup car after he lost his car, as Wally talked about on his second lap of qualifying. BP.
Let's try to talk to Rusty Wallace. Rusty, Benny Parsons, you got me?
Loud and clear, Benny, go ahead.
Well, Rusty, you won back in, I think, about 10, 11, 12 years ago, and you started 33rd. You're starting 6th today. Victory should be easy, don't you think?
I don't know, Benny. We'll see what happens. I feel like I got a good car today. Just get the runs going on here and see what happens.
Last week at Chicagoland, we had tire issues. This week, we don't have any. Do you feel like you're going to see some strategy? 2 tires, 4 tires? You guys going to try it, you think?
I think everybody's going to do some strategy. I just don't know when the right time is to do it yet. Our guys have all been thinking about it hard and planning on it, and we'll just have to see how the race unfolds, but there'll definitely be strategy happening.
Is the track dry, Rusty?
Just started raining again just now, Benny, so I don't know. It's not dry yet.
Well, good luck, Rusty.
Thank you.
That's a bummer.
Rusty Wallace rolls off 6th, as Benny said. Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, and the key word today is going to be strategy. I wonder if we can eavesdrop and see what the 48 plan is.
As this gets going, I'm going to 25s and run in a much different line, working the top. I'm going to start playing with that once we get kind of single file and get rolling. So as we get going, if you see anything that might need to try, just throw it at me real quick.
And that's Jimmy Johnson talking about the line on the racetrack, and he's basically telling his spotter, watch what the other guys are doing, see who's fast where.
Well, yesterday in the Busch race, there was a couple of cars that could make that outside groove work, and it worked really well. And if you can get it to work, you get a really, really good bite from the center of the corner off. Not everybody can do that. Most of the cars are going to go into the corner and slide up the racetrack, but you'll see some guys that will be able to work that high groove and be fast.
And there's one guy in this race today that got that to work very well yesterday. You got to be careful not jump that cushion. If you do, you could be in the wall. And I talked to that driver. That line is very, very narrow, about 6-8 inches.
Wow.
And that driver is Casey Kane?
No, another one.
Another one.
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Next break.
We'll watch.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we're told the cars will get 2 to go next time by, and then we'll go green flag racing here in New Hampshire. But you get what? Benny, what?
I can't keep it from the audience.
I know. You can't keep a secret, so I'm shocked.
Folks, I'm sorry. It's Carl Edwards.
Okay.
And the lap he ran, the last lap he ran yesterday, was as fast as he ran all day. It was really high on the racetrack, and I talked to him about that, and he's going to try it today.
I knew you wouldn't be able to.
I think later on in the race, probably. Since there's no rubber now on the racetrack, it's going to be real tough to run that high until we get some rubber on the racetrack.
Pre-race thoughts from pit road. Alan?
Well, Bill, let's talk about Dale Jarrett for just a minute. He is just outside a qualified position in the race to the chase. He's 11th in points, and he comes into this race with some momentum. 2 top 5 finishes in the last 3 races. Look for Dale Jarrett's team to try a little pit strategy for track position early in this race to try and get him toward the front from his 34th starting spot and see if they can keep their momentum going. Matt?
Now Ryan Newman is on the outside of row 2. Also, he enters New Hampshire 7th in the championship standings. Now, he's one of 7 drivers who went to Victory Lane in 2004, still winless in 2005. But New Hampshire, always a special place for Ryan, the site of his first career Cup victory. Now, he told me they feel like they're getting closer and closer to breaking through. A win today, though, he told me would also be special for another reason. It's his wife Chrissy's grandmother's 75th birthday. So happy birthday, Grandma Rita. Dave?
Elliott Sadler is 5th in the championship. So can he afford to bring an unraced race car to this track, which they've done? Well, he can if it helps him for the chase for the Nextel Cup. Remember that the chase starts here in just about 2 months. Elliott proved to himself on Friday by qualifying 3rd that they may have already chosen the right car for that race. Marty?
Dave, it's been a while since Casey Kane finished in the top 10. In fact, 7 races. His last top 10 was his win at Richmond, but there's a good chance that might change today. Casey told me before he got in the car he is very comfortable. Not only did he qualify 2nd, but he feels the car will be extremely good on the long runs today, and that could be key here at New Hampshire. As we said, the last top 10 came at Richmond, and that was a win with this race car the last time it was on the track. Bill?
Thank you, Marty. The field is being given the 1 to go signal.
But the lights are still flashing on the pace car, so obviously it will be
And we got some of those
green,
guys.
yellow.
Yeah, you looking at the track, Wally? You seeing?
Well, there's a few trucks out there too, unless they're racing for position.
Yeah. A few jet drivers on the speedway. We see them up there in the corner.
Track looks good.
It does look good.
And pit road looks pretty dry as well. They're coming around this time to get the green and the yellow here at New Hampshire, similar to the way we started the race in Daytona a little over 2 weeks ago. Started raining here about 10 after 1. About an hour and 20 minutes ago.
And it still hasn't rained. I mean, it just sprinkled.
Yeah, it rained pretty hard for a few minutes, though. Which is why we were inside instead of out at the Bank of America desk. Here we are, green flag, yellow flag. So that means the laps begin to count, and pit road remains closed. You can't go back to pit road until after it's full green flag racing without being penalized. Fans, for a little extra excitement, take the All-State Challenge now at NASCAR.com for your chance to win. Log on to NASCAR.com for more information about the All-State Challenge. So under a green-yellow situation here at New Hampshire, we'll step away, we'll be back, and then we'll get things underway at full speed. Here at New Hampshire under the green and yellow, the green indicating the laps count, yellow that the track is not perfect yet for Nextel Cup racing. Here are the results from yesterday's Busch race here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Martin Truex Jr., the winner. Boy, did he move his way through traffic to get there. Carl Edwards second, Denny Hamlin third, and take a look at the unofficial championship standings after 20 of the 35 races. A 142-point lead for Truex over Clint Bowyer. Kenny Wallace in fifth, 347 points off the pace. You got some big news there, BP?
Yes. The flagman is given the signal. 1 to go. Green flag for real. 1 to go.
Let's check in with Dave Burns.
Well, you guys, Rusty Wallace already having some trouble today. Listen to this audio we just picked up from his radio.
To me.
About 4,500.
I'm showing 3,300 on the tack. Yeah, I'm revving the motor up. The tack's not moving. All right, boys, we're going to have a tough one today. We ain't got no tachometer for pit road speed.
They manage their pit road speed by judging it from the pace car on the opening laps. Unfortunately, Rusty's is not working well. No speedometer on these cars. They have to figure out how to get that 45-mile-per-hour speed, and it's going to be a little tougher for him today, Wally.
Yeah, it'll be okay unless he comes in the lead. Right. Then he's really going to be in trouble. But if he can try to, follow somebody in, he's just going to have to be careful.
Mark Martin, he changed his visor to that clear visor just before the start of the race. Junior still has that dark visor on there. Another brand new car, the 8 car. See, Michael Waltrip has that dark visor on.
We'll complete 6 laps this time. And the green flag is out, and the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series is racing on TNT.
Pretty cool just watching it. It is. First lap.
Yeah. And we talked about that outside groove, and you mentioned Kasey Kahne. Well, guess what? He used the outside groove to take the lead on the first lap.
Putting the pole sitter Brian Vickers back to second. Were they 3 wide back there?
Yeah, they were. And back Mark was making it 3 wide. So now Mark's in the middle back there in 3 wide. Oh, it's real busy around that 6 and 24, 31 back there. They are in a bunch.
Kyle Busch in that 5 car trying to make a move. Rusty Wallace has lost a few positions. And that racing back around 20 of it is pretty nasty, isn't it?
Very, very tight back there right now.
Jeff
right in there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Martin in the 6, Jeff Burton in the 31, Jeff Gordon in the 24 car. Casey Mears behind him. Let's ride with Casey. Hang on.
That's Jeff Burton's on board right there.
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you.
And looks like Jeff Gordon's going to get by Martin. Martin take that spot away.
Really hard into the corners here. You drive down very deep. You jump on the brakes real hard. Then you try to get out the brakes right away. Uh-oh, we got trouble right
in
ahead
front of
of
these guys.
Jeff Green around.
Robbie Gordon.
Yep.
But thank goodness these cars have great brakes, because all these cars behind were able to stop or slow down enough to not be involved in the accident.
Is Robbie
Doesn't
spinning
look like
it
anybody
around?
really has a lot of damage to their car.
Caution comes out. The field is frozen. 10 laps are complete. Casey Kane, the race leader.
Although Robbie will probably have to, I'd be surprised if he doesn't come in and throw a set of tires on that car.
Jeff Green might want some too. Let's go upstairs and take a look.
See if we can see what happened.
43 looks like he just got a little bit loose there, and then he may have got touched by
Rusty Wallace,
but he was trying to save the car and kind of slid in front of the two car.
Did you see Jeff Gordon go by just barely, missed the inside wall? This wall here, Jeff Gordon just missed that.
He missed the cars and the wall. Watch on the apron.
When Jeff turned that car left, it turned sideways, but he was able to get through. Oh, Junior gets in the back of Mike Bliss.
Yeah, they're all jumping on the brakes.
Pit road is open. The leaders stay out. Completing lap number 11 at New Hampshire with Casey Kane, the leader, live on TNT. Went back to green flag racing just half a lap ago. Casey Kane, the race leader.
Kyle Busch is trying to take that spot from Ryan Newman.
8 cars pitted under that caution, including Rusty Wallace, who qualified 6th, is now scored 41st after coming on to pit road.
Remember, I said he won back in '93 from 33rd spot? Well, now it's basically 41st spot. If he's going to win, he's got to come from.
Well, you asked him if it was going to be easy, and it's not going to be easy now.
Kyle Busch not able to make that pass on the inside in that 5 car.
Dave, how about an update on Rusty?
And that pit stop was for a little left front fender damage on the car. They reasoned that they were going to hurt that left front tire going into the corners. It was already smoking, so they came in and changed 4. Rusty radioed back, guys, I'm not worried about coming back to front with only a 2-tire change. And remember, his Busch car ran in the Busch race yesterday, so he has that knowledge.
I don't think he got out of the pits in time to, because he's not even at the back of the field.
No, he was not able to catch up with the field entirely before the green flag. He was about a half lap down.
And part of the problem there was they were still talking about pitting when pit road opened, so we had to go around again.
Right.
There you see the leader to go by. Here comes the rest of the field. Kenseth, the yellow car.
There's the back of the field, the 32 car, and there's Rusty.
He's running his own race back there.
But you know that he was as fast as the leader that lap, so he should be okay.
Boy, that's going to be a long day. He's got some work to do.
So we got his tachometer. He just doesn't have a tachometer. See his RPM? He just doesn't have one.
Casey Kane continues to lead. Brian Vickers, the pole sitter, runs second.
Meanwhile, here comes Tony Stewart. The orange car comes by Greg Biffle, takes over the 7th position.
Kurt Busch in that 97 car's working on Newman right now.
There's the battle for 3rd.
And we talked about earlier, you can have a faster car here. It's hard to pass here because you're basically winding up on the same piece of real estate. Now, Busch is going to try to work the bottom, but it's hard coming off the corner on the bottom and having the same speed the car on the top does.
Dave?
Kurt Busch won both races here last year, and this is the same exact car they ran here. but they had some trouble on Friday's final practice when running the winning setup did not work for them. They thrashed on the car, and I talked to crew chief Jimmy Fennig this morning, and he said we're a lot closer, but we're still sort of incrementing this car toward being its best.
See, ooh, slides up the racetrack. Got to be careful here about that, too. The guy on the bottom, very easy to drive in too hard and slide up into the car that's on the outside of you.
And Kurt Busch in 97 is saying, now, why doesn't Ryan Newman? He knows I'm faster than he is. Why don't he just move over and let me go? Well, finally, he takes the spot away. But trust me, that 12-car Ryan Newman, he doesn't give anybody anything. If you get it from him, you got to physically take it.
So that's Kurt Busch, then Ryan Newman, and here comes Kyle Busch looking under the 12.
Alan, this 20 car is looking awfully strong.
Yeah, sure is, BP. Greg Zipadelli, the crew chief, told me this morning they came up here and tested July 5th and 6th. He said sometimes we pick a racetrack we're already good at to go test at because we want to kick our performance notch up a level again. Perhaps they've done that here today. Tony radioing the crew just a minute ago after they urged him to take care of the car. He said, I am.
Good for him.
Well, that car looks good right there. He's
sure
he's getting in the corner really hard, yet the car is sticking. He's got the front of that car that pushing those front tires into the racetrack right now, and that's going to pay off later when this track gets slick and these guys hurt their tires.
And the score monitor is telling us that he's the fastest car on the speedway currently.
Earnhardt slipping back there. He's right in the middle of it. There he is.
Back in 26th, Marty. How about Junior?
Hey, slipping back just a little bit, Bill. He did start 24th today, and Junior says his car not handling the way he likes, and he thinks the weather may be a factor.
A little chattery of the nose and the rear some, but more so than the front end. Don't know why. I guess the weather got it chattered. The tire won't slide. I'd rather it slide instead of chatter.
The weather very different from practice. It is cool, and obviously it rained earlier today. That could be playing a factor, and there's a caution on the racetrack.
Scott Riggs.
Caution's out. Keep it coming.
Get some damage to the rear of the car.
Field is
Come on,
frozen.
no caution, no caution, no caution.
Oh my goodness, no caution flag. And Brian Vickers, the 25 car, has taken the lead.
Well, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people surprised at that.
And here comes Kurt Busch. I talked to Kurt this morning. He felt like they were going to be good. After all, he won both races last year.
Yes, he did.
Comes Jeff Gordon by Greg Biffle. That's Gordon in the red 24, Biffle in 16. It's a battle for the 13th position.
Jeff Gordon started 21st up to 13th. And another guy on the move, 2 cars behind him, Joe Nemechek. Nemechek started 22nd, and Joe currently running 15th.
Stewart just took another position. He took the spot from Newman, so Stewart's
Oh, we got the 42 car, but Murray backed in the wall up between 3 and 4.
And now the caution flag is out.
That looks pretty serious. I know it's not on fire. He's trying to start it, and there's raw fuel in the intake, so.
Look at all the wheel marks on the door. I wonder if that had anything to do with it. That's yellow, too.
He's going to set the tire on fire if he don't start pretty quick. That's not funny. Especially those guys there. The rescue workers, I'm sure, think it is.
Come on down if you can. Oh, I'm going to get some.
Oh, he's going to get some.
Oh. I guess someone turned him around.
Not happy with somebody.
Probably the 17. What do you think?
Could be.
That's where that yellow paint came from.
He's after him.
I don't think his car is good enough to get him.
He's going to pit road, Donnie. He's on pit road.
And, you know, God, you want to do that so bad. You really do, and the driver, you really want to go after the guy, but NASCAR really frowns upon that, and yeah, he just dumped him. I mean,
wow.
You know, you can't touch a car going into the corner You can't hit the guy's bumper or you're going to wreck him.
On board with Jeff Burton.
You could do it in the middle. You can do it coming off and get away with it.
All clear, caution south.
If you hit somebody in the bumper going down into the corner, you're going to wreck.
Now here's a Scott Riggs spin just a moment ago, the 10 car. He's going to get a little bump from the 43 car. He goes around, but he doesn't hit anything.
And that's why they didn't throw the caution.
He puts the car in gear and drives away. Hence, no caution flag.
Remember we were talking about lose patience?
Yes.
Okay, well, we're already there, and we're only 28 laps into this race. Dave?
They're going to go back to the garage. They put 2 tires on the left side just to roll it back. Jamie said that contact with the wall, that wasn't a little slap. That was hard contact. We need to go fix it.
Yeah, trust me, he wants to get back out there because he really wants to race that 17 car before the day's over.
Right now he is 10th in the championship standings, but he will be losing positions as the race goes along. Now this is earlier in this race. Kenseth in the 17. Jamie McMurray in that 42. Jeff Burton watching it all. And of course Matt Kenseth drives for Roush. And Jamie McMurray is signed to drive for Roush.
So that's going to be his teammate.
Yeah.
A year and a half from now.
Welcome to the club. Pit road's open. Here they come. We go to Matt.
Kyle Busch, one of the first leaders that will hit pit road. Now his car was tight in the center off. That's where he was losing the most time. Look for chassis adjustments across the back as well as a 4-tire change. Dave, some guys looking at 2 tires.
It might be Kurt Busch right now. They didn't put the other side over the wall. Middle of the corner off. His car wants to push to the wall. They made an air pressure adjustment. 2 only, Marty.
Dave Casey Kane told his crew they just get through the center of the corner better than I do. 2 tires, as you can see. Car a little bit tight. Alan?
Going to be just right sides only for the leader, Brian Vickers. Crew chief Lance McGrew was debating whether or not to pit. He said, if we don't, everybody else will. We have to. So under caution here at New Hampshire International Speedway in the New England 300. We'll check the race off pit road when we come back.
Back in New Hampshire, working lap 32. Ryan Newman is the race leader under that caution. The top 8 cars did not stop. Elliott Sadler won the race off of pit road with a gas-only stop.
But Tony Stewart in the 20 car has already gotten by Elliott Sadler with his 2-tire stop.
There are a lot of impatient drivers here, Wally.
Yeah, it's already started.
We'll watch the race and listen to Matt.
Bill, Jamie McMurray back here in the garage. Here, some contact back and forth between yourself and the 17 of Kenseth. What was going on, Jamie?
You know, I'm not real sure. I raced Matt pretty hard there, and I was trying so hard not to get up into him. You get so loose underneath guys here, and I got him cleared and slid up the racetrack, and he just got back in the gas and spun me out. It was a pretty big hit. It was obviously a deliberate deal, and I guess next time I just make sure that he's the unfortunate victim and not me.
Kurt Busch has gone around, bringing out the caution. Busch, who swept both races here last year.
Well, I tell you what, the difficulty factor to win today has certainly gone up.
He's got a damaged rear bumper, so he got turned around as well, I'm sure.
Well, he was in there with the 20 and a few others.
Well, there he is behind the 25 car. The 25 comes down. Kurt has to check up, and when he does, Labonte ran the back of him. He didn't have any choice. He had checked up to miss the 25 and got hit from behind.
But kept it off the wall. So Kurt Busch gets it pointed in the right direction. Caution is out at New Hampshire. Ryan Newman leads Casey Mears and Robbie Gordon. Here, Jimmy Johnson swept back in 03. Robbie Gordon and Joe Nemechek have also been to victory lane. They'd all like to go back there today. Another Chevy driver that would like to go to victory lane is Dale Earnhardt Jr., and they are working hard on that thing, aren't they, Marty?
Oh, they're digging, Weber. They're trying to get a very tight race car to drive a little bit better for Junior on the first stop of the day. Pound out of the right front, 1 round up on the track bar, 1 round of wedge out. They came back down pit road this time. All they did was 2 rounds of wedge out. Junior trying to make that very tight race car drive a little bit better. Green flag getting ready to come out.
Thanks, Marty.
Green flag, green, green.
All kinds of different strategies on a variety of cars. Some taking 2 tires, some 4, some fuel only. Dale Jarrett and Rusty Wallace have benefited from pit strategy. Wallace pitted under the first caution because his car was handling so poorly.
So then the next caution flight, he stayed out.
Right.
So
And
there he is running 5th.
Yep. Right behind Jarrett. There's Tony Stewart in the 20.
Taking a look on the low side, and we saw that car works pretty good down on the bottom right now. See if he can pull it off. Yes, he drove it there pretty far that time.
He drove it in pretty far, and Russ just said, it's a little bit too early to be contesting going down in the corner.
And there's a wave of thank you for not contesting it. Yep.
Behind Stewart and Wallace, Elliott Sadler. Tony with the win at Daytona a couple of weeks ago. There's Elliott. Got pole sitter Brian Vickers in his mirror.
And Tony Stewart going to look under the 88 car and just go by Jarrett for the 4th position.
About the 88, Alan.
Well, Bill, remember just before the green flag, I told you his crew chief, Bill Wilburn, planned to do something with pit strategy in the start of the race to get him from 34th starting spot up front and get some track position. What they're hoping for now is that the race runs green long enough that when the next caution comes out, everyone will want to pit. That's how they'll keep that track position that they gambled on getting early in this race.
It's going to be a gamble all day long on pit road. And somebody's strategy is going to pay off at the end.
Dave, the 38 car chose to change no tires on his stop, didn't he?
That is absolutely correct, VP. And I talked to Elliott Sadler just before we got going today, and I asked him, out of 10, what number of car does he have? And he said, I think it'll be about a 7. Is it there yet? Listen to what he said on the radio.
We can just bad at first. We can just somehow figure out a way for this thing to quit chattering so bad the first 15 laps, but then not get tied off will be pretty good. But that's the two things I'm fighting right there. Whether we gotta try to mix it up with air pressure or something different, you know.
Wally, what do you think? Maybe only a 3 or 4 right now, huh?
Yeah, you know, when they talk about the cars chattering, a lot of the time when you go into the corner, the car, it feels like it's skipping along the racetrack. And that's what he's feeling right now in these cars. A couple of these guys are feeling that chattering, and that's exactly what it is. Just skips across the surface.
That's exactly right. The tire skips across the racetrack, and it chatters, you feel it in the steering wheel as Tony Stewart goes by Robbie Gordon to 3rd. I'll tell you what, this Stewart's going to be hard to handle today, looks to me like.
He could be hard to handle from now until Homestead.
Yeah, true.
The car looks similar to what we saw yesterday late in the Busch race with Martin Truex's car. That car is rolling through the center really good. It's cutting well, and he's fast on the bottom.
Just want to let you know that Ken Schrader started 41st, and with strategy, he's currently running in the 10th spot. So Schrader, another team using pit strategy.
Man, Stewart's car is so much faster right now than those 2 cars ahead of him. It's just a matter of time.
I mean, the last time he was 0.3 of a second faster than Ryan Newman, the leader.
So Stewart to 2nd, and now starts sailing after Ryan Newman. And it may not take him long to get there. Had the fastest lap, last lap.
Fastest lap again. A 1/4 of a second faster than Ryan Newman.
Marty, I bet the 12's using the mirror a little bit there.
Yeah, I think he knows that orange car is coming, believe me, and they know he's a little bit faster too. Their theory for staying out, the car had just started getting good for Ryan. It's a little bit loose, but they're fairly happy with it. They did not pit last time, obviously, so they're going to be on a little different sequence than everybody else, but they're doing a pretty good job hanging out there on those old tires.
Well, he was only about 0.2 of a second faster that time, so Ryan is picking it up.
A little adrenaline, a little motivation.
As a matter of fact, Ryan Newman ran his fastest lap of the race, the last race. He looks over the mirror and sees the 20 car coming.
So Tony Stewart continues to chase Ryan Newman. We'll keep an eye on him, and when we come back, we will take you through the field here at New Hampshire. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing on TNT, presented by Subway. And we have a new leader here in Loudon, Tony Stewart. Back on lap 51, just a couple of laps ago.
We knew it was a matter of time.
Yes.
He just basically drove underneath Ryan, and I think even Ryan realized how much faster he was at this point and gave a little crack to the throttle.
Actually, he had tried for a couple of laps to get by the 12th car, not able to make it, but that time off turn 2, he got that great bite, and Ryan said, well, I guess we might as well can't postpone it any longer.
And just update a couple of cars. Dale Earnhardt Jr. restarted 35th on lap 39. He's now 29th. And Greg Biffle, who started 9th, is back in 18th. He's 3rd in the championship standings. Let's take you through the field. Start with the 20 car of Tony Stewart, and here's Alan.
Well, Bill, Tony Stewart took just right side tires on his pit stop, restarted in 6th position, and needed only about 16 laps to go from 6th up into the lead. Tony Stewart out in front in New Hampshire. We go to Marty.
Even though that 20 car passed him for the lead, Alan, not a lot to complain for Ryan Newman. Fairly happy with the chassis, a little bit loose. Car coming to him in the middle of the run. He's had 5 top 10s in his 6 New Hampshire races, one of his best racetracks. Casey Mears also did not pit during the last pit stops. They are a little bit loose. He says, I am right on the edge of having no rear grip, but fairly happy with the car, able to keep it up there in 3rd with those old tires. Dave?
I didn't have to remind Robbie Gordon that he was starting 31st today, the same position that he won with back in 2001. He brought it up to me, hoping for anything, and right now he's got track position. That's step 1. Rusty Wallace has gotten track position back as well after that early pit stop for that damaged left front fender. Running a little bit better, according to the driver, than it was earlier. Alan?
Bobby Labonte took fuel only on his first pit stop. He is running in 6th place right now, started in 10th position. Labonte reporting the back end of his car, wanting to come around a little bit in the center of the corners. They'll try to adjust that on the next stop, Dave.
Elliott Sadler currently running in the 7th position, just getting around teammate Dale Jarrett. Elliott says the car's running a little bit better as sprinkles starting to come down here again, guys.
And the caution is out. The caution is out here for rain here at New Hampshire. It's a light sprinkle right now. Again, we had a shower a little over 2 hours ago, about 1:10 Eastern time. That forced a slight delay in the start of the race. The first 6 laps were run under the green and yellow. We've now completed 58 laps. And it'll be interesting to see what happens when pit road opens.
Yep. We didn't really throw the rain into the strategy today yet, but it will make an entrance.
Pace car has the field.
So my guess is next time by, Pace, the pit road will be open.
Yeah, they'll be coming in. I think just about everybody will come in on this one.
And they've just changed the light from red to green, so pit road will be open. Could be a very busy place.
Well, Tony Stewart does not want to win and change tires. This car is working so well.
This is when you tell your guys, don't touch a thing.
Robbie Gordon told his crew chief, I need to turn better in the middle of the corner. He said, we'll help you with air pressure, but guess what? We're only going to take 2 tires. Let's keep this track position we've worked so hard to get. Marty?
Dave, Ryan Newman is in the middle of your screen. He said, boy, I don't have as much grip as that 20 car does. Needs to be a little bit tighter going into the corners. They put a pound in the left rear. They're telling him, busy pit road. Be careful. Alan?
Tony Stewart asking for help from his crew, directing into his stall, a 4-tire change with a slight air pressure adjustment.
Now, Robbie Gordon's going to need a little bit more now than an adjustment because he made some contact down there.
They got off sync, guys. What happened? Robbie taking those 2 tires. Sterling Marlin was way back in the queue, and you can see as Robbie takes off, here comes Sterling. Look out, contact on pit road. Robbie radioed his crew, we've messed up the front end.
And watch the 10 of Riggs. He had to pit at an awkward angle. Marlin had to back up, get into his stall. And he's just leaving pit road now. And that's Robbie's crew watching.
And they know that is not good because these front fenders on these race cars are so doggone important.
We'll take a look at the race off of pit road when we come back to New Hampshire. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. Thank you, Marty. Still under caution here at New Hampshire. Light shower.
I'm surprised Robbie has not come in yet to fix that fender because I think that thing's going to rub that right front tire.
as soon as he goes down and puts some down the corner, some pressure on that thing. Yeah.
Unless they're maybe going to come in right before they go green, Dave.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do. In fact, they've been talking about the rub. They said on that fender, it's on the flat part. There's not a pointy part of the fender, so to speak, rubbing the tire. They're going to come in and change left side tires. And here he comes, guys. The other thing that they said, of course, is they've already got the right sides, no damage there, that they took when they made that 2-tire stop. Now they'll match it up with this set on the left side and send Robbie back out. Unfortunately, losing all that track position that they worked their way to get.
Yeah, they were in a good position there, and just we talk about it all the time. The pits are as important as that racetrack.
Hey, you see all those guys now, there's not too many people across the wall because the jack man and catch can man are working over there. They're the folks working on that right front fender.
Let's take a look at the race off of pit road.
See, Kyle Busch, the 5 car, is the first car off pit road. Then comes Robbie Gordon, but we know now that he's back, Rusty Wallace, and then Tony Stewart.
And as you watch this, I will tell you that Scott Wimmer and Morgan Shepherd did not pit, and they are 1-2 on the racetrack. So we remain under caution here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. Scott Wimmer is scored as the race leader. Still under caution. Let's go inside the TNT pit window. BP?
Kurt Busch makes a pit stop, and it was a comedy of errors. First of all, he's too close to the line. The NASCAR official is going to tell him to back up before they can do anything. Also, the jack man over here, he has tripped and fallen. He's got to get up. Okay, he finally gets the jack on the car, but whoa, he got to let it back down. Now we got to jack it back up again, and you're going to notice that he doesn't have the jack up far enough. The right front tire changer is trying to take the tire off. It won't come off till the jack man jacks it up some more.
That was very ugly.
So then they come around to the left side, and everything worked okay. But the right side, crew chief Jimmy Finning was livid.
Green flag is out. Scott Wimmer, who did not pit, leads Kyle Busch, who did fuel only, then Rusty Wallace and Tony Stewart, who has a very good race car.
Stewart's going to work the high side now. That car works everywhere.
Tell you what, you don't see that 20 car up on the top side many times. If he passed Rusty Wallace on the high side and passed Kyle Busch on the inside.
Busch is coming back.
Dave, how about the 22? He's being
pressured by the 20, and Tony's going to go for that lead. I don't know if this is a good thing or not, because Scott's wife, Jody, is trying not to deliver their first child, a boy, until Scott gets home. Jody, settle down and don't push. That's what the sticker on Scott's dash says, Jody, don't push, and hang on till Scott gets home so you can have that baby boy.
Rusty Wallace and his teammate Ryan Newman, 41 of Casey Mears.
Well, that 20 car just made everybody look silly.
Sure he did, didn't he?
Wimmer led 10 laps last week at Chicago. It's the first time he's led here. He's given up first and now second.
Takes the spot.
Jeff Gordon has cracked the top 10. He runs 9th after starting 21st.
Hey, Marty, is Jeff Gordon happy with the car, or is it not to his liking yet?
Well, VP, this day is shaping up to be a little bit better for Jeff Gordon. The car is a little bit loose when he's by himself, but when he's in traffic like he is right now, Gordon loves the car. When they came down pit road, they made an adjustment on the track bar, going down one round, took on 4 tires. Jeff very happy so far.
Goes by Elliott Sadler, picks up another spot.
Robbie Loomis got the guys together on Tuesday at the shop and told them, we know what we're capable of doing. We can still get this done. Focus inward, not outward.
Casey Mears is up there in the 5th spot now, taking a spot away from Rusty Wallace in the 2 car. Boy, Rusty's still struggling, obviously, because they're just going by. Here's the 24.
Marty?
Hey, Bill, you talked about that team meeting. You know, Jeff Gordon came to that team meeting, too, gave Robbie Loomis a vote of confidence. And then on Wednesday, another pep rally. Rick Hendrick came by, told the guys, listen, you are a championship team. Remember that. You haven't forgotten how to adjust the car. Jeff hasn't forgotten how to drive the car. You can still not only get in the chase, but win the whole thing. Don't forget that.
And one more thought on that, Marty. Jeff told me in the garage area here on Friday that Robbie Loomis will be the crew chief on this car for as long as Robbie wants to be. So you know they are bonded together as a 1-2 punch, Gordon and Loomis.
Uh-oh. Trouble up there. Mike Wallace way high coming out of turn 2.
Still going the right way.
He's got a lot of damage, though.
Looks like someone's gotten in the left side of Mike Wallace's car. Meanwhile, a great battle between Casey Mears, 41, Jeff Gordon, 24, Bobby Labonte, 18. Here comes Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 8 car's going by. Trying to get by his teammate, Michael Waltrip, in the 15.
How about the 8?
Bill, remember all those changes that we talked about on the 8 car? I talked to Steve Neal just a moment ago. He said, we're gaining on it. Slow progress. Junior getting happier with the race car. It was just way too tight to start this race. They've made 5 separate adjustments trying to loosen that car up a little bit for Junior, and he's getting happier the longer this race is going.
There's nobody happy in that pack right there, is there?
Jimmy Johnson might be the 48 car because he is marching forward.
And this is some racing going on here. Johnson in the 48 looking inside of Sadler. Alan.
Well, during that last caution, Bill, you remember at the top of the race we played some audio from Jimmy Johnson talking with his spotter and his crew chief about that Brian Vickers was running a different line to keep an eye on it, see if it was working, and he would try it. Well, he's tried it. He didn't find it to his liking because his car wouldn't perform as well there. He's obviously found something on the low side, though, as they continue to adjust his car on the pit stops, and Jimmy Johnson moving closer to the front.
The 24 car looks pretty good right now. If he can just get past these 2 guys, right. They're running side by side, but I think once they settle down and get in single file, I think the 24 will pass both of them.
Well, he's going by, trying to get by the Casey Mears automobile now, talking about Jeff Gordon.
I don't think Casey's car is as good as he would like it.
No, I don't either. Maybe he's just because he's in that high line, he needs to get down on the low line, but he's not getting much of a chance to get down there because guys keep passing him. Gonna get a little boost here from the 38 car. Bump drafting in New Hampshire.
Doesn't work too well.
Yeah, that's pretty scary here.
There'll be more of that later, too, I assure you.
We saw the 17 car try to bump draft to 42 earlier, and that didn't work.
Bumped him right into the garage. Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Door to door with Elliott Sadler. Rusty Wallace has a good look at it. Tony Stewart continues to lead up front. Kyle Busch second. Ryan Newman third. This is where the good racing is right now.
Yeah. Good side-by-side racing. And it's good to see that outside groove is actually working.
It is.
I think it's surprising some of the guys how good their car is up there. Alan, how about that 48 car?
Well, you know, Bill, our TNT ears are everywhere. Jimmy Johnson talking about his race car with his crew chief, Jack Knaus.
Weird loose into 3 after I settled down over the bumps. Feels like I'm maybe right front camber or something as I'm arcing it in big into 3, so I'm going to straighten it up a little bit, see if I can help that. But into 1, car feels good. I'm very stable. I can carry good entry speed and get turned. It's just when I catch my right sides in that stickier spot up top, it tightens the car up.
You know, I know it's easy for people to think these drivers just get in the car and run laps on the racetrack, but they are concentrating, thinking about every inch of every lap that they run all afternoon long. You heard Jimmy Johnson dissect his corners at this speedway. That's invaluable information to his crew chief, Chad Knaus, as they try to plan their next set of adjustments.
I can say that sticky spot down in turns 1 and 2.
He needed every inch to get by Rusty there, didn't you, too? They were pretty close. Tony Stewart continues to lead here at New Hampshire. When we come back, we will take you through the field. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. 85 laps complete at the New Hampshire International Speedway. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing presented by Subway. Here's a look at the Koch family of drivers. Tony Stewart continues to lead. Bobby Labonte with a strong run so far, using some pit strategy, helping him get to the front. Elliott Sadler moving forward. Greg Biffle and Dale Jarrett in 14th.
Jeff Burton, Michael Waltrip, Kurt Busch after the spin. He's in 20th spot. There's Harvick and Kyle Petty.
Tony Stewart out front. Let's take you through the field and start with Alan.
Well, nothing to worry about in Tony Stewart's pit, that's for sure. They're on a roll here at New Hampshire, just like they've been on a roll the last couple of months. Tony just radioed the crew, said don't get too worked up over the lap times. We're doing just fine. Matt?
Kyle Busch and his team, knowing how important track position is today here in New Hampshire, gas only on their last stop. Didn't want to take a chance of a miscue on pit road and losing a lot of positions on the racetrack. Marty?
Matty, all going smooth for Ryan Newman so far. The car handles fairly well. It starts off a little bit loose, gets tight at the end of the run, which means it doesn't want to turn in the middle of the corner. He's having to work the middle of the corners. That's where it's really hurting him. The place where he got his first win. He'd love to score win number 2 today. Alan?
Solid day for Bobby Labonte. He started in 10th position, fuel only on his first pit stop, then 4 tires on the last one. He's up to 4th. Only 3 top 10s this season for Bobby, but they think they're turning the corner. Marty?
Alan, Jeff Gordon continues his march forward. Hasn't said anything on the radio since the last pit stop, and they think he's very happy with the chassis. He was a little bit loose to start that run with, got tight as the run finished, but very happy with the 24 car. Dave?
Elliott Sadler not so pleased with the 38, at least in the middle of the corner. That's what they tried to fix so it would turn a little bit better. Air pressure adjustment on the last stop. Alan?
Well, Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, continues solidly in the top 10. He's running in 7th place. They made a variety of adjustments on their last pit stop to try and help the car turn better in the center of the corner. Marty?
Alan, Casey Mears reporting to his team this car's a little bit loose, trying to build some momentum from a top 10 last week. Hanging in the top 10 right now. Car gets a little bit too loose for him, Dave.
Scott Wimmer falling back now, restarted in the first position, has gone back to the 9th position. On lap 29 was the last time they stopped for 4 tires. They'll have to come in somewhere around lap 119 or 20. And remember, Jody at home, please don't push. Save that baby, Marty.
Dave, Casey Kane trying to run that high line. He's in the 9th position. His car is loose. Tommy Baldwin told him, hang on to it, be patient. It's tough when you know you have a fast car trying to make your way back through the field, Alan.
Brian Vickers started on pole and led some laps early in this race. He's actually picked his way back up to 10th position. They've had 2 slow pit stops on the last one. Lug nuts fell off the right rear tire and cost him some spots. Dave?
Greg Biffle's team really turned this car around from final practice on Friday. The last time they came in, the lap 58 caution for moisture on the track. His car was pushing toward the wall. They made a wedge and an air pressure adjustment for him. The 2 of Rusty Wallace has gone backwards. At the beginning of the race, the car wanted to spin out. Now, the car has gone the other direction. They'll have to come to some sort of a compromise on that setup, Alan.
Well, the pit strategy that Dale Jarrett's crew tried to get him up from 34th has helped him get up close to the top 10. Right now, he's losing ground in the race. His car not handling well. He wasn't very confident about it just before the race, though he is going to slip by Rusty Wallace right there, Dave.
Kurt Busch's car was on the loose side last time he came in. They made 2 adjustments to the car, wrenches through the back window for track bar and wedge for the current reigning champion. Marty?
Dave, Jeff Burton has won here more than anyone as he takes the 15th position from Rusty Wallace. 4 wins for Jeff Burton at New Hampshire. His car kind of all over the place, loose and tight. It was tight last time. They changed air pressure in 3 of the 4 tires, trying to get it better. Matty?
Jeremy Mayfield trying to be the second Dodge to go to victory lane in 2005. 2 tires on his first stop. On his second stop, they made significant adjustments. The car way too free. Meanwhile, the 99 Carl Edwards had a great run in Saturday's Busch Series race. Almost went to victory lane because his car is too free too soon. And meanwhile, Michael Waltrip already announced where he's going to be leaving this team as season's end, running in the 19th position. So his car is pushing terribly, Marty.
Matt, all of a sudden, Dale Earnhardt Jr. sounds like a frustrated man in the 20th position. He says 2 loose in, 2 tied off, which means the back end wants to come around when he goes in the corner and off the corner. He can't get it to turn. They talked about changes, and he said, hurry up, because it's going away big time. Matt?
Mark Martin, 1 of 7 tracks he's never won on here at the Magic Mile, New Hampshire. He took 2 tires in the first stop, so the car was just way too tight. Feeling much better on the 4 tires he took the last stop, but he's running just outside, Dave, the top 20.
Which pedal do the drivers like the best? I think it's the gas pedal. You love to mash the gas. Well, when Joe does it on the 01 car, that car wants to shoot straight toward the wall. They'll have to adjust that at the next stop. Matt?
Kevin Harvick led the most laps in Saturday's Busch race, was concerned about the changes to the track due to the rain and the weather. And he has cause for concern. The car, like he expected, way too tight, Marty. They've made significant adjustments, put a spring rubber in, track bar wedge. Nothing has helped. They're stuck back in traffic.
Matt, by Ken Schrader's estimations, he's raced at over 300 racetracks, and including last night, he wanted another one. As Bill told you earlier, won a feature in Maine last night. Schrader found a place to race Saturday night. Told him earlier that the car just will not roll the center like the other guys, just way too tight. Bill?
Thanks, guys. That's the top 24 through the field. Scott Riggs is 25th, followed by Jason Leffler, Matt Kenseth, Ricky Rudd, Mike Bliss, and Jeff Green round out the top 30. Robbie Gordon has slipped back to 31st, just ahead of Sterling Marlin.
Here's Bobby Labonte. The 18 car has caught Ryan Newman in the 12 and trying to take that spot away. In watching the scoring monitor the last few laps, Labonte has been running laps as fast as anyone, and a lot of laps faster than anyone.
I'll tell you, we don't see him in the picture right here, but probably when we come back from commercial break, we're going to be talking about that 9 car.
You think so?
Kasey Kahne has got his car hooked up right now.
He is in the 9 car, running 9th. They're all chasing Tony Stewart. Coming up on lap 100 here at New Hampshire, Tony Stewart is the race leader. You're watching NASCAR on TNT. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing in New Hampshire, presented by Subway. 103 laps are complete, and Tony Stewart in the Home Depot Chevy continues to lead. Kyle Busch is second, Bobby Labonte third, Ryan Newman fourth, and Elliott Sadler in the 5th position. Now it's time for the Singular Race Talk $1,031 challenge. And it involves a guy who's having a decent run today, currently in the 7th position, Jeff Gordon. Which is contributing most to his recent struggles? The rule changes and equipment, the Cubs curse, frustration, or bad luck? We need an E. All of the above. To vote, text the word race to 191 on your Singular wireless phone, or go to NASCAR.com. You'll also be entered for a chance to win $1,031.
Jeff Gordon had worked his way up to what, the 4th spot.
Yep.
But has fallen back to 7th now as his teammate Jimmy Johnson drove by a few laps ago.
And your boy Kasey Kahne up to 8th, moving forward.
And still fast.
Yeah, last time he had the fastest lap of all the cars.
Let's get back to the Singular deal here. Are you going to explain the Cubs curse here? A lot of people may not know what the Cubs curse is.
Go ahead. He had a little trouble singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Yeah, I would say a lot of trouble.
At Wrigley Field. But he knows it.
Oh, yeah.
And he just hasn't had a lot of luck since then.
He just didn't have a teleprompter.
You just love rubbing that in, don't you? Hey, here's a guy on the move. Kurt Busch in that 97 car. He's picked up like more than 20 positions since the restart back on lap 67 after he had those troubles on pit road. And he knows getting to the front here at New Hampshire, you have to try and be patient.
Patience is the key to victory here, knowing that at the beginning of a run, some guys might run quicker lap times than you, and my car or anybody that wins the race here has a car that can run on the long green flag run. So 50, 60 laps, have to wait for those guys to come back to you. And then if you're caught marred in traffic, you just have to be patient. Pick one at a time off and make sure you're in position before that final pit stop, because it's tough to pass after that.
Easier said than done, but he's exactly right. It is so tough to pass here.
What's the opposite of patient?
Impatient?
There you go. Very good.
You almost got me on that.
I was trying. 97 around the 16, and I think we're going to go down to Dave.
Yeah, I just checked in their pit. I wanted to ask them where they restarted because I forgot to write it down. 34th, they said. So tremendous pickup for Kurt Busch. And then car chief Mike Kelly leaned over to me and he said, you know, if NASA is looking for our car, just let us know. I think they might want to hook the shuttle up to it. It's so fast.
It is fast, isn't it? And Kasey Kahne in the 9 car was fastest on the previous lap.
Yeah, unfortunately he's 9.6 seconds behind the leader right now, which is going to be tough to make that up. But if they get a caution, make it up pretty quick.
Marty, it looks like the 9 car gets better as the longer they run. He's not too good on these short runs.
Yeah, and it's exactly what Kurt Busch was just talking about, you know, and that's what Tommy Baldwin's been preaching to Casey the entire early part of the run. He's saying you got to be patient, because he knows his car is good at the end of the run, but you've got to survive those first 30, 40 laps when the car is so extremely loose you can barely drive it, so that at the end it's very good, like it is for Casey right now. Problem is, Wally, like you said, he's got 9 seconds to make up, even though they know they have a very, very fast race car.
Yeah, the only way he's really going to make that up is when we get another caution and it groups these guys back up. Then he's got a shot at the lead.
And up front is Tony Stewart. Running second is Kyle Busch in the 5 car. There's Tony. And behind him is Kyle. Let's check in with Matt.
On the last restart, Bill, Kyle Busch told his team, I can't believe he's pulling away as quickly as he is, talking about the 20 car of Tony Stewart. Now Kyle's trying to tell his crew chief Alan Gustafson what changes they need to make so that his race car will be just as good as the 20. He can try to chase him down. Here's a part of the conversation.
We need to work on something that when I turn the steering wheel, it turns. I don't know if it's Ackerman or control arm angles or exactly what, but I need something to help me turn in the center when I turn the wheel. Yeah, 10-4.
Now he's saying the car is tight in the center and loose off. Looking ahead to this stretch that's coming up, Bill, if you throw out Watkins Glen and Indy racetracks where he's never competed, they feel like this team is really going to pick up the speed, and they expect Busch to join Kane and Edwards as first-time winners in 2005.
So they're looking at those changes for
Down the road. That's not something they can do today.
Right. When you talk.
Yeah.
But the chase for the championship begins at this track. And that's something that he'd like to be prepared for. Tony Stewart continues to lead. We will tell you Jamie McMurray, involved in an early crash, has returned to the racetrack.
And Scott Wimmer is out of fuel.
Yep. Wimmer has run out of fuel after staying out
That's
on the last caution period.
Cost them a bunch.
Dave?
If we're talking 22 car, guys, he is on pit road right now. Scott Wimmer last pitted on lap 29, so they had to make a fuel stop. They will change all 4 tires on this Dodge and send Scott back out. Car really hasn't been handling that bad. He was just out of tires, guys.
Is it running, Dave, or is it not running?
It's running now. Okay. They just fired it up, I think, guys. No, working on it. Have to push it out. It is, like I said, way out of fuel.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you run out of fuel. It's very, very difficult to get these cars restarted.
And to compound his problems, the caution flag comes out.
For debris in turn 4, we are told.
Man, when you run one of these things out of gas, you lose 2 or 3 laps because of this right here. You can't get it started again.
Boy, it's trying.
Looks like he's not going to lose more laps because of the yellow.
Well, he's lost 2 laps already, back to 39th. And that's too bad. The lucky dog will go to the 32 of Bobby Hamilton Jr.
And pit road is open this time by. I'm sure all these cars will be on pit road, but what are they going to do? What Tony Stewart, I guess, can afford to change 4 tires, but some of these guys will be doing something different.
Matt.
Now we told you that Kyle Busch, he slides to a stop. They're going to pull Taroff off, but what they're going to do is make a track bar adjustment. They don't want to over adjust. He needs to have his race car more free on exit. They don't want to make it too free, Dave.
Elliott Sadler's team will use a little bit of a wedge adjustment to help it getting into the corner. That's where it wants to spin out. They'll change 4 tires on the 38. Marty?
Dave, Ryan Newman says his car is just a little bit tight off the corners, meaning it doesn't want to turn, not secure getting in either. They go up 1 round on the track bar to fix that. Alan?
4 tire stop, slight air pressure adjustment for Tony Stewart. Very quick stop as well. Looks like he's going to win the race off pit road easily.
Hey, what, Jeff Gordon? These guys had a good stop.
So Tony Stewart having a strong run, getting good work from his guys on pit road under caution in New Hampshire. Still under caution here at New Hampshire, and let's look at some of the action on pit road. That's Elliott Sadler and Kasey Kahne.
They make contact as they try to get off of pit road. And Elliott Sadler had to make an unscheduled stop to get the fender off the left front tire.
He's not real happy with
No,
that.
not at all.
That move.
And this is Joe Nemechek leaving his stall.
One outside, one outside, one outside, one outside, one outside.
Making contact with Kurt Busch, and Kurt had other problems in his pit stall. We go back to green. Tony Stewart leads.
You need spotters leaving the pits and getting in the pits as much as you do on the racetrack.
Bobby Labonte and Kyle Busch for second.
And
with Jeff Gordon charging.
what you need is less cars on pit road. It's just nuts for these guys' chance to win, being eliminated on pit road. Now back to the race. I'm off my soapbox.
No, you're not.
Not till the next race anyway.
Jimmy Johnson in the 48 looking inside of his teammate. Jeff Gordon looking inside of Bobby Labonte.
Jeff Gordon's car, this 24 car, is good when they have fresh tires on there.
I guess. Ooh, that was a slide job. His car really took off up the racetrack when he made that pass, but he pulled it off.
Stewart leads, Kyle in second. And now Jimmy Johnson trying to chase down Bobby Labonte. And Kurt Busch has slipped all the way back. See if we can find him here.
He's 17th.
Right.
He restarted in 20th position, and he was 11th before that pit stop.
And he basically, in addition to bumping with Nemechek, when he pitted, he was too close to the pit wall, and they had trouble jacking the car on the left-hand side. And that cost him valuable time on pit road.
Here comes Casey Kane.
Who do you make contact with? It was
38.
38.
Right.
But his car
looks okay.
Clean in the front. He made it actually with the right rear of his car.
Elliott Sadler is all the way back in the 34th position after having to pit again after making contact with the 9.
Boy, look at this pack right here.
Yeah. Scott Wimmer, the 22 car, looks like he's out there and running well enough, but a couple of laps down. By the way, Marty, the 9 car, did he report any damage?
BP, I checked with Tommy Baldwin, and he said no damage, and there hadn't been a lot of radio traffic about the incident with him and Elliott Sadler either on the 9's team perspective. So, but no real damage. They did hit with the right rear, as you said, Wally, so that should not affect the 9 car, and they've been awfully fast on these long runs.
They have been fast.
Yeah, the further in the run, the better for that 9 car. And you can see he's higher than any of all these cars he's running with right now. He is working that high groove, and he's getting a lot of traction up there.
Poor Elliott Sadler is back in traffic. Tony Stewart continues to lead. 127 laps are complete now, 128 here at the New Hampshire International Speedway in Loudon. Tony Stewart has led 72 of the 132 laps completed here at the New Hampshire International Speedway. And he's still out front.
What we call hooked up.
Yep. He's hooked up. The 5 is good, and the 24 is very impressive today of Jeff Gordon.
And I think this 97 car, Kurt Busch, is pretty decent, but I don't know if we'll ever know it because he keeps going to the front and something happens.
He keeps going to the pits.
He keeps going to the back.
If he didn't have to pit, he'd be great. Of course, he'd run out of fuel, but
he's worked his way back up to the 12th position again.
Patience. He talked about patience. Well, he's using all of it today.
Yep. And Dale Earnhardt Jr. is up there in front of him, running in the 11th spot. There's the 8 off the win in Chicago. Marty
Weber
present.
I told you the 8 car was getting better, didn't I? Junior happy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very happy. And he said, hey, guys, a lot better. I need a little bit more of what you gave me last time. That's exactly what they did on the pit stop. Up 1 round on the track bar. That's now 3 rounds they've gone up on the track bar. And they made an air pressure adjustment in the right front. Junior thinks that 8 car is getting better the longer we run here.
And Marty, you can tell just by the tone of his voice how the car's doing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, absolutely. Either one way or the other with Junior. I mean, when he's down, he's getting his guys to make changes on the car. But when he feels good about his race car, he's positive about it. And you can tell in his voice, he's getting a little bit more positive as this race goes along.
See what happens here. 97 to the inside. Not going to hold him up, is he?
No, he's not going to hold him off. Or, 97 is pretty strong. And you can lose a lot of time, you know, sometimes just racing hard with the guy and trying to keep him behind you. 97 is in pretty good shape there, isn't he, Dave?
Yes, and doing the math, I think no matter where he restarts, we should expect him to move to the front. 34th to 11th on that previous run. 20th place he started here, all the way up to, what did he just get? The 11th place.
Yep. Hey, Dave, you think they'll be ready for him when he pits this time, huh?
Yeah, in fact, they've had a lot of discussions today about pit strategy. In fact, the first time they came in, Kurt didn't want to come in. So they've already had a lot of discussion down here, and I think they'll have it right by the day's end.
And I imagine pit practice will be fun this week for those guys as well.
But actually, the pit crew, Kurt Busch, the first time overshot the pit, was over the line. They had to back up, and the second time he was too close to pit wall.
Yep. So he'll be at pit practice. Right, Benny?
Pardon me?
He'll be at practice.
Maybe they'll have him drive the car during pit practice.
Sir.
Yeah.
There is the race leader, Tony Stewart. 138 laps complete. Tony, a winner at Daytona, trying to add another victory, this time in New Hampshire. 101,000 fans at the New Hampshire International Speedway, the 21st consecutive sellout. Nextel Cup Series here, and in September will be the 22nd consecutive sellout. Tony Stewart, the race leader, 144 laps now complete. 6 away from halfway. Sorry, BP.
And Kyle Busch and Bobby Labonte, he's not driving away from them. But, you know, Kurt Busch, we've talked about him all day, back in the 11th spot. Each and every lap is as fast as Tony Stewart, sometimes even faster.
Let's take a look inside the TNT pit window, and this is the most recent stop for the 97.
Well, check it out. The right side tire changed, goes without any problem.
And he had a problem on his earlier stop because he was too far forward and had to roll backwards.
That's right. Look at all the brake dust that comes out of that car on the right front. Now then, watch this when the jack man comes around to the left side. This fella right there is supposed to do that in 1 pump. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 pumps it took to get the car off the ground so they could change the tires because he was too close to the wall. The jack handle was hitting pit wall.
Jimmy Fenning, not the happiest guy on pit road.
And then on top of that, when they were leaving right there, they got run into
by the 01 car. That's
There's
right.
all that damage in the left door. Not that that will hurt him any here. It's no big deal on that side of the car, but it's been rough in the pits for those guys.
But on the racetrack, that's a strong piece of equipment right there.
Taking another spot, 10th spot right there from Casey Mears. Had a good race car today. He stays patient.
Fans, for a little extra excitement, take the All-State Challenge now at NASCAR.com for your chance to win. Log on to NASCAR.com for more information about the All-State Challenge.
Man, that 97 car is good.
That's fun to watch, isn't it?
It is. It really is. It's great to see guys that their car is hooked up, like watching Tony Stewart, the 20 car, go around the racetrack. Kurt Busch in 97.
Well, you're gonna have a bunch of good cars up there. You can have Stewart, you're gonna have Kane up there, the 97. It'll be a good race when it happens.
Dave?
You guys remember how much they were struggling Friday during final practice. I went over to their pit. The guys were thrashing on it. They had started with the race setup that won them 2 races here last year. It had all gone away, and crew chief Jimmy Fenning was going to the notebook. Kurt was running through his mind what changes they could make. A great comeback for this team.
And Dave, I talked to Jimmy Fenning yesterday before qualifying, and when I asked him what he was going to do in the afternoon because this was an impound race, he said, I'm going to sit here and worry about the car because they didn't know how it was going to be. They made the changes. qualified it, and then they basically had to wait till now.
And so I asked him this morning, so last night, did you sleep because you didn't have to do any more to it? He said, no, you're always thinking about the car. He said, I sort of slept, but I was thinking about what more we could do.
I bet he didn't sleep a lot. Halfway. And there's
Matt Kenseth goes by the 42 car, McMurray, and
without incident.
Without incident. So,
well, you know the 42 wants to take a shot at him. Come on, but he also knows that we're watching, NASCAR's watching, and his new boss is
Jack
watching.
Roush.
So,
and Jamie wouldn't want to get parked because right now he's 11th in the championship standings. 464 points out of the lead, but just 64 points behind that 400-point cutoff. So he wants to get out there, get as many points as possible, and someday, somewhere, sometime.
That's just no fun being out there like that.
But he's doing his job.
Yep.
I mean, look how close he came to the championship chase last year.
Because of, just one race.
Yep. Tony Stewart out front. We passed the halfway mark here in Loudon, New Hampshire. We'll go through the field when we come back. Out front, 157 laps complete. He's led 96 of them. And he's wanted by 42 other guys.
And check this out. Kurt Busch, the 97 car, continues on his way towards the front. This is a battle for the 8th position. You see Biffle going by the 48 of Johnson. All of a sudden, Jimmy Johnson, 48, who won both races here in 2003, struggling to keep up.
And Casey Kane has fallen back to 10th. We were watching him. He got past. You think he got out of the...
I think he just got out of the groove there for a lap or two, and he had garbage on his tires. And the 97 is passing everybody.
Yep. He is 9.5 seconds behind the race leader. Let's see what happens. Let's take you through the field, starting with Tony Stewart. Here's Alan.
I know we've been watching Kurt Busch for a while, but Tony Stewart is still charging on, leading this race. And at the lap count we are now, just past halfway of a 300-lap race, his crew chief, Greg Zipadelli, starting to think strategy. Probably only 2 pit stops left. Matt?
Kyle Busch continues to impress the last 8 races, starting with Richmond, 4 top 10 finishes. He's running second today. Alan, he says the car still will not turn when he needs it to up off the corner.
Bobby Labonte running third, having a very solid day so far after a very frustrating season. But I talked with Bobby yesterday. He said nobody's giving up, and they think they might be turning the corner on their results for the rest of this year. Marty?
Alan, 4-time series champion Jeff Gordon knows that he only has 8 races to go if he wants to make the chase. And we asked him on a scale of 1 to 10, with the 10 being most worried, how concerned is he that he might not make it this year?
We're 10. Yeah, I mean, we're 15th in points. We're a long ways out of 10th, and we got very competitive cars, that we have to battle with to get there. So, I don't think that it's for us right now. It's not even about focusing on the competition. It's about focusing on our own program, getting our cars where they need to be, and myself where I need to be to compete in the top 5 every weekend and finish in the top 5 every weekend, and that's the only way we're going to get there. And we definitely haven't showed that kind of a performance lately, so we hope that we can get it turned around.
On the racetrack today, Jeff Gordon having a very Jeff Gordon-like day. Very solid, cars very fast at the beginning of a run, falls off late in the run though. Alan?
There I am. I was trying to talk. Trust me, folks. Brian Vickers rallying back to the front after having 2 bad pit stops early in the race. This team has had great race cars since about the beginning of May. They haven't been able to finish the job. They're looking for respect by finishing the job today, Dave.
Alan, on Friday, Greg Biffle told his crew the car was so loose he couldn't put any steering wheel to it, it would spin out. Opposite problem now.
And at 19, Mayfield in, had a flat tire. He's already away. Caution is out.
Oh, man. Every time a car makes a pit stop, the caution flag comes out. Last time it was Scott Wimmer, 22.
Debris in turn 1. The reason for the caution.
Maybe might have been the left rear tire of Jeremy Mayfield's
Could be
car.
parts and pieces. You're exactly right.
A lot of guys happy to see this one. Kurt Busch being one of them.
Yeah. But the challenge for him now, a nice, smooth in and out of his pit stall.
No mistakes in the pits. And we've seen always there's been issues. Every time we have pit stops under the yellow, people are running into each other, or somebody has a problem.
31 cars on the lead lap. And here they come. Matt?
Kyle Busch said he had a vibration on that run. They need to make this car better on the longer run. Alan Gussis is going to make an air pressure adjustment all the way around and make a track bar and wedge adjustment. Now to the triples with Dave.
Here comes Kurt Busch. He hit the box perfectly. They're going to make a track bar adjustment as well as air pressure adjustments to help the car turn just a little bit better. Marty.
Jeff Gordon feeling good about his race car. Dave told the team it's really good right now. I just need a little bit more. He is tight up one around on the track bar for that. Loose pound out of the right rear for that. Alan.
Tony Stewart's Team 4 tires, another excellent stop, looking to win the race off pit road and hold the lead.
And he does. And there you see the traffic behind him. All 31 cars pitted. Dave Blaney, the lucky dog here in New Hampshire. Still under caution here at the New Hampshire International Speedway NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing presented by Subway. There's Dave Blaney. He gets the Ballpark Lucky Dog Award. He was the first car off the lead lap. So Dave Blaney gets back on the lead lap, the Ballpark Lucky Dog. And pit road has been a very busy place today.
And crazy.
Yeah.
It doesn't take a whole lot to break the rhythm of a pit stop.
Tony Stewart continues to lead, Bobby Labonte, then Kyle Busch.
That race off pit road between Bobby Labonte and Kyle Busch was very, very close. See, Tony Stewart easily in front of these two, but look at that. By just inches. A gaggle of cars there.
Then it was a race, wasn't it?
It
right
was.
There. And of course, don't get caught speeding.
We haven't had any of that today.
Not yet. Okay, now we talked about all the trouble on pit road. Let's go inside the TNT pit window. Wally, look at the 24 pit stop.
Yeah, you talk about rhythm. Watch up here in the right front. See the tire carrier right there? He's going to grab this tire, and Dale Jarrett knocks it right out of his hand. Now he's kind of looking around. All of a sudden, the hose, watch again, knocks it out of his hand. And watch when the front tire changer comes around. The hose will get caught on his head. And he's like, oh, brother. Not very happy. But those guys still pulled off a really good pit stop. But they were not very happy with the 88 team on that one.
They're already going up and talking to the 88 guys.
Marty, did they go have a conversation?
Well, initially they thought it might have been the 88, but actually what Robbie Loomis has decided, he asked Jeff Gordon to pull closer to the wall. So, you know, we talked about positioning where you are in your pit stall. They want Jeff closer to the wall because the guys were having to go out into pit road to make that happen. That's why you saw the tire lead when the 88 came in. So that they're not really mad at the 88. They just want Jeff to pull a little closer to the wall, keep the guys a little safer.
And Marty, these pit stalls aren't that big here.
And that's a great point, Wally. These are kind of small pit stalls here at New Hampshire, and we have a wall on the other end of pit road, so it's a very tight, narrow pit road here.
And this goes back to your point, Benny, about all these cars coming down pit road, and you can preach that all these cars shouldn't be down there at one point, but I think it's incumbent on the racetracks to help add to the safety factor and make sure pit stalls and pit road are long enough and wide enough for these guys.
Until they do, limit the amount of cars on pit road. And then change the racetrack to get everybody on there.
I thought you said you were off your soapbox.
Oh,
yeah, right back on it, didn't he?
Sorry.
Take a look at our Craftsman pit summary.
That was someone that stayed on the racetrack to lead a lap to get those 5 bonus points, but now Tony Stewart, they are running 1,
right,
2, 1. Kyle Busch is 3rd. Bobby Labonte is now in the 2nd position.
Yeah, that's
confusing.
Yeah, that is confusing because right now it's Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon, and Jimmy Johnson.
And here comes the rush up for the cars a lap or more down.
So Kurt Busch did not have a problem that time. He's 8th. Earnhardt Jr. is 12th.
The only problem is on these restarts, when you got the slower cars on the bottom, it is so tough because you got to work so hard to pass these cars that are a lap or more down.
So you're saying the next few laps could be pretty...
And Tony Stewart's going to clear that guy, and he's going to just drive away.
And Kurt Busch, you said his eighth position, but actually he's restarted in about 16th spot.
See, now Tony cleared Mayfield. Now Tony's got clean racetrack. These guys got to get around all these other cars. So this is when he can build a nice lead. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, the 5 car just got in the back of the 18 car, got the 18 car a little bit sideways and moved up beside him. Going to try to take that spot, and Jeff Gordon's going to try to go with him. Matt, what are they saying about the 5?
Matt.
Wally, right before the caution on lap 158, Kyle came on the radio and said, you know, these tires have just completely lost grip. It is really sliding the nose. Now, when they made their stop, they found out why. He had 2 small cuts in the right front tire, so obviously the caution for the debris, that debris, he had run over at some point, Alan.
Well, great stop by Bobby Labonte's crew to get him out second, but then he's lost a spot, or maybe another one soon on this restart. Not a surprise to him. Bobby reporting to the crew, it takes his car about 15 laps to get going. After that, he's as good as anyone. He'd love to see this thing go green from here to the finish.
These guys are busy back here.
It's single file up front, but behind Jarrett as he goes inside of Mike Wallace, and that's Carl Long in the 99.
A lap ago, they were 3 abreast going into turn 3, 2 rows deep.
Carl Edwards, I'm sorry, thank you.
Robbie Gordon right in the middle of all that.
Mark Martin, Rusty Wallace, the 2 and 6.
Settled down a little bit.
Yeah,
for now.
It was pretty exciting a lap or 2 ago. Up left front tire, flat on the 40 car, and obviously made some contact with many people, possibly.
Side, guys, left side. Guys.
We see the door caved in, so someone is, when he punctured that tire, he also knocked in the sheet metal on the 40 car.
So Sterling will have to limp back to pit road. It's Mark Martin in the middle of all that. Robbie Gordon in the 7.
Look at all the different lines down there that they're taking. I don't know if that's by choice, but they're sliding around a lot.
Matt, about the 6.
Expected better things today. 4 tires. Now, no air pressure adjustment on the last stop, Bill, but they made a wedge adjustment. The car both tight and loose. It was extremely loose at the beginning of the previous run. They are not having the run they expected today. Here now, he's in 19.
Yeah, tight and loose is pretty bad, especially if you're loose in and tight off. That's tough to fix.
Travis Kwapel on 77, direct in front of Mark Martin.
Michael's going to take a look on the outside.
Nemechek's back there too, and I think he expected better things today as well.
And the 29 car, Kevin Harvick. Harvick is running in the 23rd position.
There again, I think it's a lot of it is track position. I think the 01 or the 29 or any of these guys, if they would be up front, they'd stay up front. It's just trying to get there. Dave, what's Nemechek saying?
Well, Wally, as you know, at the problem near the end of the race is if any of these guys want to make 2 tire stops, guess what everybody's doing, right? There's a lot of people back there that'll probably be making 2 tire stops, so they can't pick up track position. Joe Nemechek's car not bad after that contact with Kurt Busch early on, and running pretty well. They just made a little bit of a chassis adjustment last time. Matt?
Kevin Harvick's living his nightmare. He told me yesterday after the Busch race he doesn't want to be stuck deep in the field, heavy in traffic, and that's exactly where he is. He said if you have a slight car, just a tick on the tight side, it's going to be big time on the tight side. He's been going back and forth with balance issues. They just haven't been able to hit on it. Right now, he's running just outside the top 20 in 23rd.
Yeah, and like you say, Matt, the balance issues, a lot of that is because you're in the traffic. And it's hard to get your car balanced because you're running around all these cars all the time, and it's not helping the aero.
Casey Mears is running 16th and going the wrong way. Go ahead.
You know, Chip Ganassi's day is just getting worse. The 42 car, we saw him crash earlier. We just saw the flat tire with Sterling Marlin, another Ganassi car, and guess what? The 41 car down a cylinder.
Yeah.
Man.
Not a good day for the guys from Ganassi, but a wonderful day so far for Tony Stewart. About 120 laps to go in New Hampshire. American Revolution. Tony Stewart continues to lead under green here in New Hampshire. Take a look at our Team Tylenol safety fact. In September of 2003, NASCAR disallowed racing back to the line at the start of a caution period. Positions at the time of the caution are now determined by scoring loops at various points around the racetrack, and there are 8 of those here at New Hampshire.
One of those deals was because of here, or almost what happened here.
Dale Jarrett spinning out right down here, coming off of 4.
That's what caused the rule.
But I'm glad they did it. They needed
something needed to be
bad.
done.
Yep.
How about this guy?
Oh man,
Kurt Busch.
He continues to work his way towards the front. He's up to the 5th position, and as well as his car runs on long runs, if this thing would go green for about another 75 laps, he would be in position. Then the caution flag come out. He'd be right with Tony Stewart.
He's 4.5 seconds behind Stewart, but not that far behind Jeff Gordon, who's running 4th.
Last time by, he was a 1/10 of a second faster than Tony Stewart.
But he had to work past all those cars that were lapped down, and Stewart didn't.
Yep.
That's why he's got the 4.5 second lead on him.
How about that 97 car, Dave?
Well, he told us in the pre-race show that you need a car that can run on the long runs, and wouldn't you agree? Kurt Busch has had some long runs today.
Yes.
From the back of the pack. This race last year, when he won, he started 32nd, and by winning, he actually picked up more positions than any other winner in New Hampshire International Speedway history. Today, well, if you add them all up, which isn't the way they keep the record, but I think he will have done it again.
He's going to grab another spot here in a couple laps from Jeff Gordon, I think.
And after Gordon, he'll set sail toward Bobby Labonte. Then Kyle Busch, and the man he wants to go get, Tony Stewart.
Watch him. He just closes in on the back bumper of that 24 car. Kurt Busch is fast.
Won both races here in New Hampshire last year, raced on to the Nextel Cup Championship.
97 cars getting in to the corner much, much better than the 24.
Look at that. Unbelievable. Wow, what a great pass by Busch. Goes into 4th.
Next victim, Bobby Labonte.
Next time by, we'll check the speeds at the line and just see which of these cars is in fact the fastest.
Here comes your leader, Tony Stewart.
How about that? Kyle Busch, the fastest car that time.
Greg Biffle, who was fastest the previous lap, looking to get around Jimmy Johnson. Done.
Kind of impressed with the run that Biffle is having today, because, you know, he's never run with this well at the speedway, but today he's a threat.
Tony Stewart runs out front, 191 of 300 laps complete at New Hampshire. Approaching the 200 lap mark here at New Hampshire. Tony Stewart continues to lead. We've had 10 lead changes among 7 different drivers. Stewart has led 135 laps. This is the 3rd race at New Hampshire that Tony has led over 100 laps. The most number of laps he led here came back in July of 2000. He led 156 of 273 in a rain-shortened race. That was his only win at this track, and he is stout today.
You mentioned rain, so right away it makes you think of ducks and geese and...
It's a stretch, but I'll buy in.
Don't you think it's time?
Go ahead.
Cue the duck.
Time for our Aflac trivia question. Who was the only Rookie of the Year candidate to win at New Hampshire?
Let's see. Tony Stewart?
No.
Kurt Busch?
No.
Beats me.
Candidate. Candidate.
How about that man?
Oh, yes.
And the celebration was in the garage, because as I recall, it was raining very heavily.
You know, Alan used to show us the answers.
Oh. Speaking of Alan, let's go through the field. He's got the race leader. Comfy down there, Alan?
I've been hanging out here a lot today, Bill, and I'm starting to get the old calculator out. Greg Zipadelli, the crew chief, told me this morning that he expected this race, pit strategy-wise, would play out like a road course. Well, if we run about another 10 laps and get a caution, you may see this 20-car pit for the last time today. Matt?
Now, Kyle Busch had closed the gap from his 5-car to Stewart's 20 to about a second, but now it's opened up well over 2 seconds. The car gone to the tight side again. Now he's stuck behind some lap cars, Alan.
Bobby Labonte having a solid day running third. Just talked to his crew chief, Steve Addington. He's trying to find a way. I remember I talked about the car needing about 15 laps to get up to top speed. He's trying to find a way to get a little more speed adjusted into it for the short run in case we get a late caution. Dave?
Kurt Busch has taken us through the field himself several times today. His car right now, as he leaves each corner, wants to push toward that wall just a bit too much. They'll make an adjustment on the next stop. Marty?
Dave, Jeff Gordon is driving the same car that he drove from 3 laps down at Martinsville to the win. Currently, he's in the 5th position. His lap time is fairly close to the leaders. Pretty loose, he says. I'm okay in the center, but I'm not happy getting into or off of the corners. Dave?
10 laps ago, spotter Joel Edmonds radioed to Greg Biffle, hey, the clouds are back. You're a lot better in the clouds. Greg's times were coming down again on that cool racetrack, but the sun's come back out. Alan?
Well, Jimmy Johnson running in 7th spot. He's just not been able to get the car 100% to his liking today. Now, I know it's a very rare thing for a race driver to have a car 100% to his liking, but they've adjusted up, down, back, and forth on this car. Maybe they'll hit on something this last pit stop. Marty?
Out on the radio for Ryan Newman, he hears the voice of Roger Penske coaching him on his line. Asked him to take a higher line into 1 and 3, as you see him right there going into turn 1. Ryan said that made the car a little bit better, just a little bit too loose when he wants to go down to the bottom. Alan?
Well, Brian Vickers started on pole today, hoping to get his first career Nextel Cup win. Right now, the back end of his car lacking grip. When he steps on the throttle, like right there to get off the corners, it wants to come around to the right on him. They're hoping to help that on another pit stop, Dave.
After contact with the 9 car and a lap 116 pit stop, Elliott Sadler all the way back from 34th to the top 10. What a great comeback for these guys. Marty?
Kasey Kahne made the most common complaint race car drivers make. He's in the 11th position. Said, I just can't get both ends of the race car to work for me at the same time. That's a problem here at New Hampshire. Kasey's car just a little bit too loose for him, but this is the part of the run where they get a little bit faster. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was funny with his team before the last caution. Said the car was awful at the end of the run. I feel like water on hot coals, and I have better brakes on my passenger car. What else can I complain about? Car just a little bit too loose now for Jr. That's different than before. Jeff Burton said, we are so tight, I feel like I'm bouncing around the track like a basketball. Cannot get this car to turn any way, shape, or form. I'm frustrated, guys. Dave?
Rusty Wallace won the first ever race here at New Hampshire International Speedway in the Nextel Cup Series. Today, in order to do that, they're going to have to help this car turn all day long. Trouble with that in the middle of the corner. Alan?
Well, Dale Jarrett started 34th. Little early pit strategy got him up into the top 5. He's now running in 15th spot. This is a car they took from Elliott Sadler's team, trying to get both the 88 and 38 cars on the same engineering platform, but they're still trying to tweak on this to get it where Dale is completely comfortable with what they're running. He's 15th.
Kurt Busch about to take over on that one. He has caught Bobby Labonte, the battle for the 3rd position.
You know what? He's picked up about, I don't know, half a second or 3/4 of a second on the leader in doing it. I mean, passing all these cars, he's still making ground on Tony Stewart.
Now he's in some traffic, too.
And that's the advantage that he has on gaining on Tony Stewart is Tony Stewart is now starting to catch traffic and work through that traffic, and it's slowing him down as well.
That 19 of Mayfield is the first car off the lead lap, but he has been stout since the restart. He had cut a tire down just before the caution came out. Mayfield drifts high. Labonte looks underneath. Kurt will try and make another run at the 18 of Bobby Labonte. That's Kyle Petty just ahead of our race leader, Tony Stewart, here in New Hampshire. Tony Stewart continues to lead. 213 laps are complete. NASCAR Nextel Cup Racing presented by Subway at the New Hampshire International Speedway. He has been the class of the field today.
Boy, he has.
Oof. But the guy that has been charging throughout the day, the 97 of Kurt Busch, still working on Bobby Labonte.
We showed you that race just before we went to break, and Kurt Busch was up there beside of Bobby Labonte, and all of a sudden Labonte is pulled away by a few car lengths.
I don't think his car is as good as it was.
Kurt Busch's.
Yes.
He's had to pass a lot of cars. He could have abused his tires a little bit trying to get there.
Well, let's look back at Kurt's day. It's been rather, how would you say, as a driver? Eventful?
Yeah.
First of all, he gets a tap from behind and spins off turn 4, but fortunately doesn't hit anything.
Then he had to come to pit road, and his crew guys got all tangled up. Jackman on the ground, never good.
And he had to back up. He was over the line.
Then he didn't have the car jacked up high enough, so they couldn't get the front tire off. Jimmy Fennig not happy about that at all. But on the racetrack, when he's out there, man, he has been a rocket. Caution flag is out.
Robbie Gordon had a problem up in 3 and 4. I guess he's been in the wall. We see a right front tire flag. It's just a right front tire flag.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. Don't see any contact with the wall.
It's too bad for Robbie.
He's got some contact with other competitors, though. Lots of wheel marks. Which maybe that could have cut a tire.
Yeah. It's hard to avoid here, though.
Yeah.
27 cars on the lead lap.
Robbie's been running pretty good today. He's just some bad luck.
There we see the right front tire is coming apart.
Yeah, but is it because it's rubbing, though? Because he's had contact is what I'm trying to figure out.
I think he's been involved with somebody else.
Looks like.
So the caution is out. Kyle Petty had just gone a lap down, so he is the lucky dog. And Jeremy Mayfield worked so hard to stay right up there, but he stays one lap off the leaders.
And like you say, he's got a pretty good race car today.
If we stay green, this will be it. This is where the guys on pit road really want to shine. They work hard all week for big moments like this. Tony Stewart brings the field to pit road on lap 217, Matt.
Bill, the 5 guys know this may be their last shot to make the winning adjustment for Kyle Busch's Chevrolet. Going to make a track bar adjustment. Going to go up at least 1 round. Let's go to the triples and Dave Burns.
The driver trying to shine here as well. He does hit his pit box well, far enough away from the wall. The guys will make a wedge and air pressure adjustment for a car that won't turn well. Marty?
Dave, Jeff Gordon is tight, pound out of both left side tires to fix that. He's also loose, 3/4 of a round down on the track bar to fix that. 4 tires. Alan?
Just minor adjustments. Tony Stewart and Greg Zipadelli going back and forth on the radio. Stewart's crew again with a lightning stop. He'll be first off. They were talking about Kurt Busch and how much they might need to adjust their car in comparison to the growing competition, but they didn't make a very major adjustment at all.
Well, Stewart comes out first, but Jeff Gordon falls all the way to 10th. A long 17-second pit stop for the 2014. Welcome back to New Hampshire. Field coming around to get the green. The pace vehicle will dive on the pit road. The big winner on pit stops, Brian Vickers, comes out 6th. Tony Stewart, the race leader. The green is out. 2:19, 2:20 in the books. Here we go. Kyle Busch is fun to watch in that 5 car on restarts, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Mayfield slid up in front of him, and Kyle didn't want any of that. He wanted around him as quick as possible. He didn't want that 20 car to get away. Now Kurt Busch, 97, is going to look to the inside of Mayfield and clear him. This could get good.
So you got the Busch brothers running behind Tony Stewart. Whoa.
Oh, a little loose on the 97.
He didn't like the bottom of the racetrack with these tires that are low on air pressure.
Jeff Gordon restarted in the 10th position. How about the 5, Matt?
Kyle Busch's team told him if you can't do anything with the 20 of Stewart, then just settle in and take it easy on the gas.
Stewart out front. Update on him from Allen.
Well, just after he left pit road the last time, Bill, his crew chief Greg Zipadelli radioed to him and said, we're going to have about 80 laps to go on this restart. I'm thinking you've got what you're going to have. Make it last to the finish. Then they came back later, and Zippy told Tony that the longest he's run on the green flag on a set of tires today was 49 laps. So this will be considerably farther than they had before. Road course, race strategy. stay out front, pit as early as you can in your fuel window, and stay out for the finish. That might be what we're going to see here.
Alan, have you had a chance to check up on that 25 bunch? They picked up a bunch of positions on that last stop.
Yeah, remember, Bill, early in the race, the first 2 pit stops they had were kind of dreadful. They had some troubles. In fact, Brian was pretty hot inside the car, but they gained 5 spots on that last stop. 4 tires on the car. Hey, we got a race for the lead.
Wow, I guess so. Kyle Busch putting some pressure on us. Do it first time all day. Anybody's been able to do that.
Well, I think you think he's thinking now, I got to get him now, or he's going to get away?
No, I think he just wants a lead.
He does?
Here he comes. He's taking a look on the inside. Can't quite do it. Matt, as you, on your report, you said something about watching the gas. Are they concerned about fuel mileage?
BP, they feel they can go the distance, but you also have to factor in the possibility of a green-white checkered finish. They said, look, if you don't feel you can make a move on the 20 now, save your stuff for later.
Okay, got you.
He wasn't saving anything right there, I don't think. Make another run at him.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Johnson, the 48 car, is trying to get by Bobby Labonte. And here comes Vickers, the 25 car, trying to get by Jimmy Johnson.
Teammates from Hendrick Motorsports, the 48 of Johnson and the 25 of Vickers. Bobby Labonte drives for Joe Gibbs, dragging some tape behind him there.
I think at this point, you pretty much have to give it everything you have. I mean, you may get another caution, but boy, if you don't, you're going to be in trouble.
You got to go. Tell you what, Tony really got up on the wheel, didn't he?
Yes, he did. It looks like when those air pressures came up in Tony Stewart's tires, then he was able to pull away from that 5 car a little bit. He's now a half second in front of Kyle Busch.
The 18 looking inside of Greg Biffle, Dave.
And Biffle's concern may be fuel. Matt mentioned the green-white checkered possibility of extending this race. Here was what crew chief Doug Richards said to Biffle after he left pit road.
Hey, Greg, give me long gears, man. Long gears. I really needed to get to lap 220 there to make it comfortably.
That means he wanted to keep the revs down in the motor, not to burn too much fuel. Now, if you do the math, 22 gallons in that tank times about 3.8 miles per gallon, you get 83.6 miles. So, it's hard to say. But if it extends, like Matt said, to a green-white checkered or beyond, they could be having fuel issues.
Thanks, Dave. Of course, Biffle drives for Roush Racing, and so does Mark Martin. I talked to Mark in his hauler this morning. He was very concerned about this becoming a fuel mileage race because they just don't get the mileage like Dave was talking about.
Yeah, the Roush cars have always had that trouble.
And Mike Wallace is spun up in turn 4. Caution flag gets out, so that will help this fuel problem these teams are having. Because on the caution flag laps, when you slow down, you don't obviously use as much fuel.
And that just...
I give him all the room in the world and he dumped him.
Sounds like he got dumped.
You think?
He said, just give me a push,
yeah.
We'll start.
Okay, let's go to the machine. And I thought I heard him say...
that'd be Robbie Gordon. Robbie actually lost the car.
Yep,
I mean, he didn't. That wasn't intentional. Robbie went in. He lost the car. He saved the car. Unfortunately, Mike was right there.
BP, that would be a racing incident.
Yes, it would. On board with Mike Wallace.
Inside.
And he's right. We heard Mike Wallace. We heard Mike Wallace say, I gave him all the room in the world, which he did.
Yeah.
But he didn't realize that Robbie Gordon had just lost control going in the corner.
So Tony Stewart's certainly unhappy about this, but Kyle Busch will get another crack at him on the restart. 229 laps complete of 300 here in New Hampshire.
I think if you need an adjustment or anything now or drink of water, it's too bad. Because these crew they don't want these cars back on the pit road until the end of the race.
So we'll bring them around. Pit road is open. See if there are any takers here.
No.
Leader's not even looking at it. Under caution here at New Hampshire, on board with Michael Waltrip. Trouble in front of him. Mike Wallace in the wall. Here at New Hampshire.
We've seen every time today when these cars make a pit stop, we've seen that brake dust. Brakes are a problem at this racetrack. You've got to keep them cool. Go inside our Home Depot virtual garage and show you how they do it. Air hoses. The air goes through the grill of the car, back to the rotors, and keeps them cool, because when the driver applies the brakes, those rotors get cherry red. They get red hot, as you can see. And air comes in, cools them off. If you make damage to the front of the car and you can't get the air to them, you're going to overheat the brakes. Oh, here we go. Kyle Busch taking a look. Can he do it? Can he?
Ooh, that's close.
It is close.
How hard's he driving right now?
Oh, we got contact in the back.
Yeah, we do. This is for the lead. Everybody else is okay.
Ooh, Tony Stewart slides up the racetrack a little bit.
Now we got a car on the wall.
Hard contact. Elliott Sadler. Oh, it's...
Wow.
And Kyle Busch, all of a sudden off turn 4, just veered rapidly to the inside. I don't know if he didn't want to run over Tony or what. A lot of damage to that car.
But this wreck started back in 2.
Yes.
Although it finished up in 3.
You'll have that.
Man, is he... he had a good race car, too.
Right now, 5th in the championship standings.
Okay, I can't see anything. All right, there's 38. Right there. Roll it. Looks like he's going to get turned. Mark gets into him. Turns him around. And that, you know, we've been seeing that all day long on these restarts. 5, 6 guys going down into the corner, 3 abreast. And that is, you know, I don't know what that is. That's not, you know, Mark is such a clean driver. Are they just...
Check up there.
Still inside, hold your line, still inside.
Just close racing there.
Still inside.
So that was in turn 3, and this is just about when the caution comes out.
He got loose off the corner.
He sure did.
I tell you what, if this caution flag hadn't come out, he would have lost second spot.
Jeremy Mayfield was the lucky dog on the previous caution. This time it's Mike Bliss. Caution here in New Hampshire. Let's take you back through the first 237 laps. The first 6 were run under green and yellow because of rain. On lap 10,
Jeff Green goes for a spin off turn 2. Robbie Gordon also spins in the 7 car, but
Jeff Gordon makes the nifty move down on the apron, avoids the wall. Then it's Matt Kenseth saying hello to Jamie McMurray.
Hard contact over the 42 car in turn 3, and he was not happy at all. He wants to say hello to Matt up close and personal, but car wasn't good enough.
Kurt Busch, defending series champion, goes around, but keeps it off the wall, and his car has been a rocket ever since.
And Tony Stewart has been the biggest. He goes by the Rocket Man because that 20 car has been a genuine rocket.
Stewart has led 176 laps. Robbie Gordon into Mike Wallace. Gordon couldn't keep the car pinned down.
And then the last caution flag. Mark Martin, the 6 car, gets in the back of Elliott Sadler, and wow, the back end is gone from this 38 car.
Here's our Napa field summary. 10 caution periods, 12 lead changes among 8 leaders. Jamie McMurray, Morgan Shepherd, Ted Christopher, and Carl Long out of the race. The field coming off of turn 4 to get the green flag, and once again, Kyle Busch will make a run at race leader Tony Stewart, and this is when Busch has had the best chance to get by him.
Ready. Ready.
Green flag.
There he goes.
Look at this. Look at that restart. Look at him drive inside the 20 car.
Brother's going to go on the outside where these guys are racing each other. There he is, outside.
That
Got
Kurt
the
Busch.
spot.
Kurt goes by the little brother.
Kyle fights his way back.
He's going to try to go on the outside of Stewart.
Man, oh man, look at
Tony.
this.
Tony lost the car a little bit, and that cost him the lead.
Kurt Busch, what an unbelievable day this 97 car has had.
And he's been watching Kyle try to get underneath Tony. Now Kyle under the 20 for second.
don't think he's going to be able to pull it off on the inside.
But Kurt watched Kyle try and get underneath him and then decided, well, I'm going to try the high side.
And you can see Stewart's hands through the windshield in 3 and 4. He was really fighting that car. That's all that Kurt Busch needed.
This is back where Elliott Sadler was, and no longer is.
Ever see the 8 car? Dale Earnhardt Jr., Casey Kane in 9. Jeff Burton looks like in 31. And there's a pretty good mess in itself with Jeff Gordon in the middle of it.
Gordon's in 7.
Vickers right there. 8th spot. Well, now he's...
Yeah, it changes.
Took the 7th spot from Jeff Gordon.
Elliott Sadler treated and released from the infield care center.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And Elliott declined our invitation for an interview.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jeff's not going to wait too long on this one.
Yeah, Robbie Gordon is not on the lead lap.
Check out some Rusty Wallace trying to get on the inside of his teammate. They were 3 wide for a second. Here comes Tony Stewart. Boy, he's got fire in his eyes now, and this 20 car has been so fast all day.
Allen on the 20.
Well, just after Kurt Busch got by Tony Stewart, he keyed his radio and told the crew, let's not get all wound up about it. It just takes us a couple laps to get settled in. We'll be back.
Like maybe right about now. Those are 2 guys that don't give up easy.
Gotta be careful driving in that hard. Carl slide a little bit.
And he can't slide. He can't afford to slide much because the 97 is going to be there.
Tony looking at
look, It's just hard to get off the corner there. You know, when you're underneath somebody like coming off that corner, oh, did he get in the wall?
Yeah, he sure did.
I think Kurt Busch drove in the wall off turn 2, just barely.
That's all it may have taken right there. Oh, look at that car slide. Tony is really sliding right in the center.
Well, these guys are giving everything they have now for this lead.
Tony Stewart back in front. I think Kurt Busch, well, Kurt's going to try underneath him.
But as Wally said, it's just so difficult to get that grip low off these corners. Here comes Bobby Labonte, the 18 car, looking on the inside of the 5 of Kyle Busch.
And we did have a report from pit road that Bobby Labonte may have an electrical issue. Let's check in first on the 5 with Matt.
Now, BP, when you saw Kyle Busch working on Tony Stewart, he kept trying him on the bottom, didn't he?
Yes.
Well, when he saw his brother make the pass for the lead on the outside, he started laughing. He said, you know what? I knew that was how you're going to have to do it.
Ooh, looks like he may have got the wall a little bit.
Alan, how about Labonte?
Well, Bill, the way Bobby's year's been going, this is the last thing anybody that's a Bobby fan wants to hear, but Bobby is reporting low voltage in his car. The car reading down around 10 volts, should be up around 12 to 13. They brought a spare battery down to the pits. He says he thinks the engine might have a little skip, but it's not showing all that badly on the track right now, is it?
Nope, he's doing well, and then you have to hope it holds it together.
Probably got everything turned off he can turn off as far as fans go inside that car. Driver fan, engine fan, whatever he can turn off right now is off.
Ken Schrader just bounced off the wall. Schrader was running in the 24th position.
That's too bad.
That's the battle for 3rd.
Bond is still not able to get by the 5 car of Kyle Busch.
And you have to wonder how much Kurt Busch hurt that car when he struck the wall. How about that, Dave?
If he knows, he's not saying. Kurt has been very, very quiet on the radio, actually, for the last 20 laps. Hasn't said anything. But remember, the thing that he's been complaining about on the car most of the day, really the only thing is that exit of the corner. That's where the car really wants to push toward the wall. They've gotten it better, but it bit him right then.
So Kurt Busch sits in 2nd, and Tony Stewart has recaptured the lead here at New Hampshire.
All you hear is me.
Wanted every Sunday night at 10, only on TNT.
Well,
Bobby Labonte finally did it.
Yep.
Just by the 5, and Kyle Busch takes over the 3rd spot. They're currently, Bobby is shown almost 3 seconds behind Tony Stewart.
Tony continues to lead. He has led 187 laps, the 6th race of the season that Stewart has led the most laps. And he's been very impressive today. Let's go through the field. Less than 50 to go. Start with Stewart, and here's Alan.
Well, I just talked to his crew chief, Greg Zipadelli, up on top of their pit box, Bill. He says they're good to the finish on fuel. Don't expect to see them on pit road again, although late race circumstances can change things. But right now, Tony's cruising. Dave?
Kurt Busch has still said nothing on the radio, very workmanlike. And think about the redemption he's trying to get here. He hasn't really been able to defend his title all that well, but with a sweep here last year, he'd sure like to win it loud. Alan?
Well, best finish of this season for Bobby Labonte was that 2nd place when he lost out by inches on the last lap at the start-finish line. For Bobby Labonte having a solid run today, hoping to equal that season's best finish and maybe even get up there behind his teammate and race him for the win. Matt?
Kyle Busch is trying to settle in now, running back and forth. The car, the balance shifted to loose on entry. Now he's just trying to get back into his rhythm, trying to make what's been a great day a great finish.
Just checked with Greg Biffle's crew chief, Doug Richard. They are okay on fuel, and it sounds like they've taken the worst out of the car for Biffle today. He cruises along trying to take up positions. Marty?
Dave, here comes Jeff Gordon coming because on a pit stop earlier, the gun jammed on the left rear tire when they were trying to change it. He fell back to 10th. Now he's back up to 6th, and he's running some of the fastest laps on the track. Alan?
Well, Jimmy Johnson's team continues to be very persistent, trying to adjust this car like they do every race and get him up the front toward the finish. For now, Jimmy out there with what he's going to have to the finish, running in 7th place. Marty?
Alan, it's been a very solid day for the 12 team of Ryan Newman's. The car has been loose for most of the second half of the race. They've stayed in the top 10 all afternoon long. Last stop, they went down the track bar trying to tighten up. No word from Ryan as to whether or not that has helped. Dave?
In Rusty's final and the 21st start here at New Hampshire International Speedway, a solid top 10 run. In fact, yesterday, crew chief Larry Carter said, I believe you could be a top 10 with that setup, and they're hitting it. Alan?
Well, Brian Vickers running at the backside of the top 10 after starting on pole, fighting there with Dale Earnhardt Jr. for a spot. Vickers continuing to struggle with his car in the corners on this run, and he's going to fall out of the top 10 as Junior goes by. Marty?
Alan, at a minimum, it's been a comical day for Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his team. They've been all over the place. Junior's been chastising him on the radio, having fun, telling stories. Earlier, he told him the tires felt like plastic. And in the last recent few laps, he's turned the fastest laps of the race. Junior up to the 10th position and coming. Casey Kane, I just talked to Tommy Baldwin. He said the car has been everywhere today. A little bit loose, a little bit tight. Just cannot find the balance on the 9 car. Right now, chattering the nose way too much. Matt?
A surprise run for Matt Kenseth in the 17. I remember last fall, the first race in the chase, he finished 2nd. He has struggled most of the day, the car loose. They have made a number of adjustments, Marty, all day long. It hasn't seemed to help.
Matty, 2 weeks ago, Jeff Burton tested it, and he told me, you know what, I think that 20 car is going to be pretty good. A good guess on Jeff Burton's part. The car bouncing so bad, he thinks they may have broken a shock. I don't think he'd be running as high as he is with a broken shock, but Jeff hanging in there in 14th right now. Matt?
Chassis adjustment on the last stop for the 99 of Carl Edwards. He's running in the 15, which is pretty much where he's run all day long. They also gave a bag of ice and a bottle of water. The balance, they're making headway, but obviously there aren't any more stops left unless we get a caution. Meanwhile, the 6 of Mark Martin, his teammate, he has struggled most of the day as well, running in 16th. He tried adjusting from the inside of the car with the brake bias to help the balance. It hasn't helped. Alan?
Well, Dale Jarrett came into this race 11th in the championship standings, 1 spot out of a qualified position for the chase, only 33 points behind 10th. Unfortunately for Dale, that 10th place driver was Kurt Busch, who's going to gain some ground on him today. Matt?
At one point today, Michael Waltrip had fallen all the way back to 35th. They made 2 extended stops trying to fix his race car, get it handling like he wanted to. They had a bad push, making a little bit of headway, running up to 18th.
These are the dog days of summer for Joe Nemechek. He's got 5 top 10s here at this track, but 4 of them happened in the fall race. Only 1 of them here in the July race. Matt?
Kevin Harvick needs some good things to happen if he's going to make the chase. Enter New Hampshire 14th in the championship standings, but he's been running in 20th most of the day. Stuck back in traffic, stuck with a tight race car.
Thanks, guys. That takes us through the top 20. Mayfield is 21st, followed by Dave Blaney, Mike Bliss, Ricky Rudd, and Jason Leffler. Travis Kvapil, Ken Schrader, Bobby Hamilton, and Kyle Petty The 29 drivers on the lead lap. Tony Stewart with 35 to go out front in New Hampshire, followed by Busch, Labonte, Kyle Busch, and the Biff. Continues to lead. Kurt Busch second, Bobby Labonte, and then Kyle Busch. And this is a little strung out up front with Stewart leading, but there has been some interesting
developments
in the back of the field. There's been a lot of guys banging around back there.
And there's another development arising. Greg Biffle, the 16 car, has caught Kyle Busch in 5, and Jeff Gordon, the 24 car, is gaining on these two guys.
And like Snyder was saying, that 24 car is coming in a hurry. Biffle thought about looking inside, couldn't get there. Gordon tries to rope them both in.
So difficult to pass at this racetrack.
This is when you start using the bumper a little bit more.
Whoa.
Some rubber.
Yep.
Just a little bit.
Like now?
Don't do it going in, but maybe like right here, just a little bit. That 5 car is still pretty fast.
Yeah, he is fast.
Jeff Gordon is catching quickly, isn't he?
He sure has. Dave, how about Biffle?
Just a reminder of something we discussed earlier. Greg Biffle's car better in the sunshine or in the cloudiness, guys? Cloudiness.
Yes.
What has he got right now? A big old cloud over the speedway as he challenges Kurt Busch.
But unfortunately, Jeff Gordon's car must be better as well because, as I said, he has caught these two. And we see Kyle Busch in the 5 car, and it's hard to get past. If Jeff Gordon comes up behind the 5 car, it will not be that difficult. By the way, Alan, let me ask you a question. The 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, is drifting back. What's going on with him?
Well, BP, I'll tell you this. I just walked over to the pit box and looked up at crew chief Chad Canales and said, "What's going on?" He kind of looked at me and grimaced and shook his head like kind of a disgusted look, like, boy, this just hasn't been our day. So what's going on is it's just not being their day right now. The handling on the car has just kind of gone away.
I got you.
Boy, it went away in a hurry.
He restarted about 6th, didn't he? Or 5th or 6th? And has fallen back to the 12th position. Talking about Jimmy Johnson.
276 of 300 laps complete. Our last green flag commercial break.
Racing from New Hampshire, presented by Subway on TNT, is brought to you by Nextel, helping groups get things done. NASCAR and Nextel, partners in speed. By KFC's new 99-cent snacker, where $1 will get you more than a snack, it'll get you a sandwich. Now your dollar goes further in Chicken Capital USA. And by Ballpark Franks. Be big, be meaty, be frank.
Less than 20 to go here in New Hampshire, and Tony Stewart out front. And Kurt Busch trapped in some traffic back there.
Well, here we go. Remember, battles continues.
Wow, that's what I was talking about.
Man, oh man.
This is when the contact happens. The patience is long gone.
Now those are 2 Hendrick cars right there. The 24 of Gordon and the 5 of Kyle Busch. That might be a little cleaner pass.
Yeah, I would think so.
Roush is the car owner for Biffle. And that 5 and 16, they were together for a while. This is the look at the championship standings. Still 16 to go here.
Kurt Busch jumped up 5 positions.
Well, that feels good.
The 325 back. Obviously, the 400-point deal is gone by the wayside. Dale Jarrett is in 10th spot. 4 of 21 back.
Jimmy Johnson, the championship leader, has fallen to 13th in the running order. Biffle coming back on Gordon. And when he gets to the 5, the fun begins.
Well, I'd like to know where that started, though. Let's see if we can back it up a little bit. Hey, here's the first contact. The 16 slides up, gets into the 5.
They both get sideways.
So that's why the 5 was mad when the 16 came up on him the second time and got into him. And the 5 actually got into the wall at the right rear.
Looks like he did.
Now Biffle continues his pursuit of young Kyle Busch.
And I don't believe the contact is over if these guys get together once again.
Marty, trouble for the 24?
Well, I don't think it's immediate concern, Weber. They do have only 14 laps to go, but he was catching everybody else, and then he reported to his crew, I'm starting to pick up a brake vibration. He just radioed to the crew, I don't think I'm going to make it, guys. Robbie is telling him right now on the radio, ride it out, do all you can, stay out there. We've only got 13 laps to go. Hang on for all you can.
You know, you use your brakes here a lot, especially if your car is not handling perfect. You use your brakes even more. And BP showed you the Home Depot virtual garage. It's so important to see the openings there to keep those front rotors cool. But if you abuse your brakes here, you will run into problems. You can warp a rotor, which will cause a vibration.
We saw that flat tire on Robbie Gordon's. We see Robbie Loomis.
Coming there, dude. Real smooth, real smooth.
Crew chief talking to his driver, Jeff Gordon, as he goes by. Tell him, look, only 12 laps to go. Now, surely you can nurse that thing for 12 laps, but here comes Ryan Newman.
There, you're running 6. We'll be okay. We'll still get a top 10.
So, you know, he's really slowing down.
I don't have brakes. What are you talking about?
Has no brakes. Here comes Junior, the 8 car, to get by.
And in the championship picture right now, Gordon is 11th and Earnhardt Jr. is 12th.
And this is just what Gordon's been going through all year long. I mean, he'll have a good run, and then all of a sudden something like this will happen right at the end.
We talk about how important brakes are. Well, he has none, so you see how slow he has to go just to get around the racetrack.
Yeah, you need brakes at this racetrack because you drive in the corner so hard, and you get on the brakes hard just for a little while, but then you get off them again. But when you don't have any, you can't drive into the corner very hard.
That last lap, Kurt Busch was the fastest car, running in second behind Tony Stewart. And Stewart's in some traffic.
I think Stewart's probably being careful, being clean, and obviously Kurt Busch is chasing him.
And Kurt Busch has moved to the very top of the racetrack, that sticky groove that we talked about a little earlier. He's trying to find all the grip that he can to catch this 20 car.
Stewart was a 10th faster that time, but he is in traffic. NASCAR has asked the 24 car to pick up the pace, or they will be forced to come to pit road. The minimum speed, 32.72 seconds.
And Gordon, that last lap, ran 33.7. So he is not meeting the minimum speed.
This would be heartbreaking. Dave, how about Kurt Busch?
When I talked to Jimmy Fennig this morning, I said, sum up the way you've worked on this car this weekend. And he said, we've shot a lot at it, and I think they hit the mark.
They've done a great job. Second right now behind Stewart. But Tony's car has been excellent today. Tony won at Daytona, could have won at Chicagoland, and could be 7 laps away from winning here in New Hampshire.
Pretty dominating by the 20 car today, Tony Stewart.
What a job that he and this crew has done today.
Jeff Gordon has fallen back to 15th, continues to slide backwards. How about the race leader, Alan?
Well, Bill, you know, during our NASCAR Busch Series race yesterday, we talked about what an important win this was going to be for Martin Truex Jr., where this was a place where he kind of came to prominence in NASCAR racing. Well, 5 members of race leader Tony Stewart's team are New Englanders, headed by crew chief Greg Zipadelli from Berlin, Connecticut. Zipadelli made a lot of his mark as far as a crew chief is concerned here at New Hampshire in that same New England vein. So winning here carries a little extra rub for that team as they close in on a checkered flag.
It's always nice to come home and win.
Boy, no better thrill. I went to North Wilkesboro Speedway once, my hometown, and it was exciting.
Matt Kenseth has made his way to 10th.
5 to go. There's the 24 right there. About to get lapped by Tony Stewart. Will get lapped before he even gets out of turn 2. Wow. How frustrating is that?
Tony's not going to believe that when he sees it.
Kurt Busch, he's right there just in case Tony were to fall or just a little bit.
Yep. Stewart was fastest last lap. It's Dave Blaney in the 07 in between them.
And I see some sprinkles on, believe it or not, it's starting to sprinkle on the racetrack. Nothing to stop the race, but
3 to go. Busch continues his pursuit of Stewart. Tony with an outstanding race car today. The strong effort on pit road. Inside of Jeremy Mayfield.
I think Stewart's just on cruise. He's looking in the mirror and he's going as hard as he needs to.
2 to go.
What a turnaround that Zipadelli, this entire 20 crew, Tony Stewart, they've all done, because the first part of the year, they were just not competitive.
Yep.
But boy, they have turned it around.
And I think it's also helped Bobby Labonte, because Bobby's sitting in third spot right now. This is a great run for those guys. They needed a good run really bad.
And may have dodged the bullet with that electrical issue as well that Alan was reporting about. White flag. Tony Stewart in the 20, the leader. Behind him, the 97 of Kurt Busch. Then Bobby Labonte, Kyle Busch, and Greg Biffle. And Biffle is right on the bumper of the 5. That's the race for 4th. That's your race leader. Half a lap to go. Remember, those two had contact just a few laps ago. They're going to battle it out for 4th. But Tony Stewart's going to bring that Home Depot Chevrolet off of turn 4. And Tony Stewart, a winner at Daytona, now wins at New Hampshire.
Here comes Bobby Labonte, finished 3rd, and here comes the battle for the 4th position between Busch and Biffle.
And Kyle probably won't let up. We'll just keep going. Huge win for Tony Stewart.
Seems like they're both in a hurry. Drove right by him.
Yep. Headed for the house. So Stewart went back-to-back. Sonoma and Daytona. Had a great run last week at Chicago and will head to Victory Lane here in New Hampshire. Marty?
And a happy Greg Zipadelli. What an awesome performance by you guys. Is that the most relaxed day you've ever had up there in the pit box?
I think so. Cautions fell when we needed them. Pit stops were awesome. And again, you say about Tony Stewart, there isn't anybody better. We're just proud of this Home Depot team. We've done a great job. Last couple of weeks, they've all been digging. 18 car had a great run. This is a great day for Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, tell me about the last 5 weeks for you guys. Unbelievable.
It's just sweet. I mean, I don't know. There's no describing it. It's just awesome. It's awesome. Hope we don't peak too early. We got to carry this to the end, eh?
All right, don't worry about that. You need to worry about your engine and your race car because your driver's doing a big old burnout.
And you know what the fans want here, don't you?
Oh,
Chevy?
no.
Yep.
Climb the fence, huh?
Yep. Chevrolet congratulates Tony Stewart and the 20 Monte Carlo on today's win. The defending manufacturer's champion takes win number 566 overall. Chevy, the revolution races on. And this could be Smoke's trademark here.
I hope not.
I don't think he wants to climb that fence anymore.
There's Kyle Busch talking to Greg Biffle.
Let's have dinner tonight.
Yeah. Where are you having dinner? I think I'm not. Maybe that's not what the conversation was about.
Tony's out of the car.
Now he wants to. Yeah, he is going to climb it.
Now he said he was he's coming to get the flag.
I don't know. Better get a map there.
At least he kept his Hans on. No, he took the Hans off.
Kept the helmet on though. He's going all the way to the starter's stand. And salutes the fans here at New Hampshire.
Wise gives him the checkered flag.
That is a racer that loves to win.
We could get Thumper, the cameraman, just to go ahead and do the...
And they're going to let him go through the access gate so he doesn't have to climb down the fence.
Scott Deal, car chief. Gets all the stuff, the checkered flag.
All right, he heads to victory lane. We head down to pit road. Marty?
Greg Biffle finishes third, and tell me about the contact with Kyle Busch and then what he said afterwards.
Oh, he moved me up a couple spots. I thought I got fifth, but
okay, fifth.
He just asked if we were okay. You know, he said, "Are we okay?" And I said, "Yeah." That's awesome right there.
It's pretty good burnout, isn't it?
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, congratulations to Tony Stewart, man. Them guys are on a tear. I'll tell you what. Greg Zipadelli and that whole 20 team. I mean, proud. You got to be proud of them guys. They did a great job. And man, I feel so bad for Jeff Gordon. You know, he had another great car, and but I tell you what, you know, National Guard posted car was good today, and I guess Kyle kind of gave me a little bit of a cheap shot there on the straightaway. But you know, it's tight quarters around here racing. You know, and he's just trying to protect his position, and I'm trying to get it from him. So that's good, hard racing, Loudon. You know, this is a win for us, top 5. That's what we needed to do here.
A tough fought top 5 for Greg Biffle. Dave?
And one for Kurt Busch as well. He swept last year both races, Kurt, and almost today, but it wasn't easy getting there, was it?
It was a rough day. Early on, we got hung up. Just my fault. In 18, he said he was sorry, but I spun the car. It's my responsibility. And so we had to battle back all day. Good pit stops towards the end. That's what counts. You just can't get down on it. And this was the same Irwin Industrial Tools Ford we brought from last year. Just a little bit too snug this time around. Tony's on a roll right now. He's fast. But congratulations to my guys. They did a great job back at the shop. Everybody's on it.
The reigning Nextel Cup champion, he finishes second today. Matt?
And Jeff, heartbreaker of a finish. You guys had the car where you needed to get another good run, which is what this team really needed.
Yeah, I mean, I was proud of the guys. Great car and great pit stops all the way up to that last one. But, you know, the brakes are what really got us. You know, I was pumping them all day long, so we overheated them a little bit earlier in the race. But I wasn't expecting to have any problem with brakes. And right there when the opportunity presented itself with the 5 and the 16, I thought, all right, we're going to get both these guys. And all of a sudden, the pedal just went to the floor. We were done.
There you go. Let's go to victory lane and Alan Bestwick.
Well, Tony Stewart wanted to get his head up out of that hot race car, and now he'll finish the exit for the photographers and the fans and the team and all that kind of thing. Did you use up all your victory lane energy out there? What's with this fence climbing thing?
Hey, it's my deal. It's nobody else's deal but mine. So anybody does it now, they've copied me. So everybody started doing burnouts, and I still got the record at Pocono for the longest burnout. So nobody's broke that yet, and started to do something different again.
Let's congratulate you on a terrific race. Talk to me about the race with Kurt Busch with just over 50 laps to go when he got by you, and then you got back by him. Was there any panic? Was there any doubt?
There wasn't any panic at all. I mean, our car was taking 6-7 laps to come in, and you know, I was real vulnerable right there at the front of a run, and even after we got going there and got the yellow, it was like starting to run all over again. So just really happy. The Home Depot car was awesome today, and knew that all I had to do was stay with him. He got by me, no more than he got by me, and we were matching pace for pace, so I knew what to get by later on.
This team has been on such a roll here lately. Top 5 finishes, 3 wins. Why on this kind of a roll now?
Who cares? Just I'm happy that we got it right now, to be honest. Hopefully it'll just carry through the chase. I mean, we got an awesome shot at winning this championship, and every one of these guys behind me in these Home Depot uniforms know it.
You got a lot of New England-based, New England native crew members. This will be a very special win for them. A thought on that?
Yeah, it's always nice to do good for those guys up here. There's a lot of them that came from up here, so anytime you can do good on their home track, it makes them feel good.
All right, my last question. Does climbing the fence get any easier the second time?
Heck no. I'm more out more than I was at Daytona, so Daytona was a little easier riding today.
All right, congratulations, Tony. Tony Stewart with his 3rd win of this year. Dave?
I'm with the winner's teammate, Bobby Labonte, who finished 3rd today. Bobby, with the average finish the last few races being big, this has to be very refreshing.
Yeah, it really is. The guys did a good job. I mean, we had a great race car all day. The Interstate Battery Chevrolet was good. Tony's car was awesome. And, you know, we pretty good on longer runs. And short runs were a little too loose. And then about 100 laps to go, the alternator went out. So we had to turn off all the fans and everything. And the front tires kind of built up a lot of air pressure after that. But, you know, all in all, I can't complain a whole lot because, excuse me, third place finish is a whole lot better than we've been.
Very big bright spot in these guys' season. Matt?
Well, you heard Dale Earnhardt Jr. say at the win that this team is back and you're making headway in the points, and this was a big step in the direction to get back in the chase, Junior.
Yeah, we were just a little bit off today. I'd like to have a little bit better car. We tried, you know, to get it. We tried to adjust it on it a lot, but couldn't get that extra step we needed to be able to get a top 5. But we held our own today and had to drive real hard every lap, and you know, hopefully it's enough.
You looking forward to going to Pocono next?
Well, absolutely. I'm tired right now, but give me about 24 hours. I'll be ready to go.
Now, you're limping back here. You all right? You burn your foot?
That's a brand new car, a brand new seat, and all that. So we just got to work the bugs out of that. That stuff happens, and you know, you get sore from when you get in a new seat, and you just have to. You can't really get it out until you race it. You know, figure out where it hurts and how to move it and fix it. So we just need to work on a couple of things. That car's good car. It's brand new. My team worked real hard to get it here, get it ready, and so I want to thank the Budweiser guys for putting up the effort so we can get a good run today.
Top 10 finish here at New Hampshire, brand new car. Guess what? They're taking a brand new car to Pocono next week.
And Junior 13th in the championship standings, just where he started the day, but 56 points closer to 10th. Tony Stewart climbing the fence to celebrate with the fans in New Hampshire.
Millions of American families rely on Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury cars, trucks, and sport utilities. Right now, Ford Motor Company, America's car company, invites you to join the family and pay the same low prices our employees and their families pay. Introducing the Ford Family Plan. Until August 1st, you'll get our discounts on every Ford, Lincoln, and Mercury vehicle at participating dealerships. No hassles, no gimmicks. From the Ford family to yours. Welcome.
It's clobbering time.
Fantastic Four is #1. Gene Shalit Reeves eats an A+. This is the summer fun we've been waiting for. Fantastic Four, rated PG-13.
You know what really fries me? The way so many fast food places mess with chicken by deep frying it and slathering it in batter. That's why I love Subway restaurants. Imagine, prepared fresh with your choice of fresh veggies and toppings on freshly baked bread. Now that's how chicken should be. Subway, eat fresh.
If you missed the big Chevy employee discount for everyone, you're in luck. We've extended the program through August 1st, giving you a second chance to take advantage of employee pricing on almost every 05 Chevy vehicle. You pay what we pay, not a cent more. Now get an 05 Trailblazer LS 4-wheel drive for a Chevy employee discount price of $23,387 after cash back. See your local Chevy dealer.
For a good. I want to get away.
To the shore.
To improve my score. To catch some waves. To hit it big.
I just want to get away without going far away.
No matter what you're looking for, you'll find it all nearby in New Jersey. Get your travel guide today at visitnj.org.
Back at New Hampshire International Speedway, where Tony Stewart has won the race and climbed the fence again. Ryan Newman got to celebrate his win back here in 2002, his very first Nextel Cup win. Not today, 7th place. You happy with that?
We're not happy with 7th, but we're satisfied with the top 10 as far as the points goes. We moved up to 6th, I believe, and just a good run, a good solid run. Alto Dodge was fast most of the day, not as fast as the 20. I don't know that anybody ever was besides maybe Kurt, but just happy to have a top 10 and move on into Pocono with that.
Is that frustrating on a day like today when Tony is so dominant to see him go that fast?
Yeah, usually Tony gets mad at you when you don't let him by, and today you didn't have to. He just kind of moved right on by, so Tony definitely had a good day.
Another top 10 for Ryan Newman. Marty?
For Jimmy Johnson, the day good and bad. You had a very good car to start off with, and then just at the end faded. What happened?
Yeah, we got tight and couldn't get it out of it. Everybody else seemed to make the cars a little better, and the track got a little tighter, and we just couldn't. We were making big changes. The car just wouldn't respond. So, you know, we were sitting in the top 5, maybe looking at the top 10 day at the worst, and just that last run being so long and having the car a little off, we went backwards and lost some ground. But still, a decent day. We hope to have a better run up here at the Lotus Monte Carlo, but we're working hard on a flat track program, and we'll get it right soon.
And we talked about learning things for the first race in the chase. What did you learn today for that?
We need to be better on the flat tracks. Here, Phoenix, Richmond, we had a handle on it at one time, and we're a little behind right now. We need to get it back.
All right, they salvaged a decent day out of what could have been a very bad one, Bill.
Thank you, Marty. Some tired drivers down there this afternoon. Take a look at the unofficial results from today's race. Tony Stewart dominated, led 232 of 300 laps.
Good to see Casey Kane have a good top 10 finish. Finished in 6th spot, and Junior and 9th. How about Rusty Wallace after going to the end of the line, back to just in the lap 10 or so, finishes 8th.
Another top 10 for him, and Matt Kenseth coming home with a top 10. Vickers started on the pole. finishes 11th. Jimmy back in 13th. Mark Martin 15th. Joe Nemechek, the last car on the lead lap.
Bunch of cars one lap down. Tony Stewart put these cars one lap down that last run, and
Jeff Gordon